の修練を始めるわよ。
また来ちゃいましたか。毎度少しお買い上げになっても。
進みましょう。後ずさることなくは来たれる。
接続完了。すぐ返滑りそうだった。ちょっと接続完了。
時は来たれる。
滑りそうだった。ちょっと接続完了。
一か八かの賭けに出るまで。
雲が集まってきた。星々はもう。
進みましょう。後ずさることなくご退場願おうか。
接続完了。よくわかんないけどやってやるよ。接続完了。
一致団結。
展開。勝った。
進みましょう。後ずさることなく。今やらなきゃって気がする。
接続完了。展開。よくわかんないけどやってやるよ。
裁きは来たれ。一致団結を。
夏の装いでも。要するに全部倒せばいいのよ。届けガチャン。ここが見せ場ね。最後まで接続完了。展開。わかんないけどやってやるよ。
みんなに届ける。一致団結。
今やらなきゃって気がする。正解を歩む。展開。指揮官のナンバーワンだから MVP も楽勝よ。
進みましょう。
アイリスご加護を。
定めが見える
今やらなきゃって気がする。みんな
接続完了
陣形に注意して。
展開わかんない
剣の裁きを受けよ。
気がする
一致団結。
今やらなきゃって気がする。
展開
今やらなきゃって気がする。
見える
Winner, winner, winner. Let's see, what was I doing? Let's go watch this.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but it's almost time for the annual company gift exchange. But there's no need to panic, because we've got you covered with a bunch of handy tech gift ideas sure to catch the interest of all your geeky coworkers for less than $100. Starting with this. Supplying appropriate power for projects is a problem for any maker, and you can save them from digging through random bins of power bricks and converters with this USB PD power supply. You can dial in whatever power you need, up to 20 volts at 5 amps from a standard USB PD connection. And it'll easily fit in one of our tech sacks or LAN bags. And when you pair it with a USB PD power bank, it's a truly portable power supply king. Honestly, this might be the kind of gift that you bring, but then try to win for yourself. Unless someone were to wrap up this segue to our sponsor.
War Thunder. Pew 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 pew. Did I scare you? Control over 2,500 realistic war machines from 10 major nations in one of the most comprehensive vehicle combat games. Play free alongside 70 million players on PC, console, and mobile with our link below. For my item, this may look like an ordinary charging brick, but you may notice it has an HDMI port. This is the AverMedia Core Go, a 100-watt GAN charger that doubles as a dock for your handheld device. You just plug in your device to the top USB-C slot, whether that's your Steam Deck, your Switch, your ROG Ally. Then you just plug your HDMI into whatever bigger screen you want to use, and now you've got display mirroring and charging. And to make it even better, the USB-A port on this can be used for peripherals like a wired controller or your microphone, and the last USB-C can be used to transfer data from something like an external SSD, and you can do all of that at the same time. So while it might be hard to justify because it is a lot more expensive than a normal 100-watt GAN charger, I think the extra features make it worth the upcharge. But I'm not done yet. If you can stomach the extra $40, you can get the Elite Go. They look very similar, but the Elite Go actually doubles as a capture card for that handheld device. So instead of just plugging the USB-C into your SSD like I mentioned earlier, you now plug that into your computer. And from there you can capture 1080p 60 FPS gameplay while still maintaining the 4K 60 FPS pass-through. So if you're shopping for an aspiring content creator, I think that the $40 upcharge is easily worth it. Other capture cards can run for almost the same amount of money without the ability to charge your stuff long after you've lost the interest in being a streamer.
What I have here is the SiPed or SiPed Nano KVM. What it does is act as a network KVM, meaning you can control your remote computer's keyboard, mouse, and see a video output without having to be directly in front of it. It's a nice small package, so it's roughly the same volume as an AirPods case. And it runs off so little power that you could have it connected to your remote system that you're trying to control, or run it off of pretty much any wall wart that you have just lying around. We have a OLED screen.
Got it. Hey, it's me. Warrior Cats fandom. Battle Cats? They did? 4 hours ago, okay. Nice. My game froze dead in it. Let's see, what do I do here?
What am I doing with my life?
Yeah, I'm just playing.
Is that the front or the back?
Gabriel, get off the floor.
This should be easy, right? Wait, is that not loud?
This didn't have the target lock. This didn't have the automated system there. This was a dogfighter.
It wasn't.
The F-8 Crusader was known as the last gunfighter.
The bandit.
But this is one of our newest aircraft. This is the F-18C Hornet, not the Super Hornet.
Okay.
What the Navy calls the Charlie
Super
Hornet. The
Hornet.
Legacy Hornet's the first iteration that came out. But this aircraft is very special. You know why?
Because I'm on it.
During the Gulf War, Lieutenant Nick Mongillo, a pilot who flew this aircraft during that conflict, was responsible for some of the only MiG air-to-air MiG kills during that conflict. This is the exact aircraft that he scored his kills in.
How many did he kill?
In the plane, right? You're gonna fly it, right? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill people with it.
Okay, well, Miss Pepper,
This is how we're gonna get Greenland.
Get Greenland?
What, by killing them? By flying this
No, no way.
But this aircraft has a storied history. When we first acquired it, which is this past year, Captain Mongillo, well, he's Captain now, Captain Mongillo came and dedicated the aircraft to the ship. So,
That's nice of him.
That's nice of him.
there are a lot of anti-ship missiles on aircraft as well as ships nowadays. But also, we have our own submarines that can take out ships.
Hell, man.
Wait, what do you mean by do they ram into them? Like,
Well, no, the submarines shoot torpedoes at them. Or
okay.
Wait, what do you mean take them out? What do you think? You take them out on a date? You go to a nice
No, because you were saying that submarines take out the boats. So I was like, do they just like ram into them?
No,
They can only ram into them after they take them out.
Yummers.
Yes.
What if you got a plane and you flew the plane over a ship and then you dropped like an EMP bomb?
Then you knock the ship systems out and then it's dead in the water. That's sometimes scarier than a ship getting destroyed.
We should just do that.
Who's to say we aren't? All right.
That's how we'll take Greenland.
Wait, why is it named Miss June?
Well, that's the name the black pilot gave to this aircraft.
That's because pilots were very lonely and far away from their wives, so they named their aircrafts after women to feel like they had the warm embrace of a woman.
There you go. See, so technically, aircraft were pilots' wives.
Is that why all vehicles are girls?
Yes.
Actually, the Bismarck was a guy.
Men want to fuck their cars.
The Bismarck was a guy, but it's also a girl in many iterations, Pippa. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
I think I will worry about that.
Carry on.
Nothing to worry about.
It's 2026.
Anyway. But later on in the Hornet's history, it became an anti-submarine warfare.
This plane has.
Nah, I'm just not old.
This is the
Taxi cab.
FJ2 Fury. Now, let's back up here and take a look at it. So the FJ2 Fury is an example of one of the first jet aircraft that the United States Navy implemented, used in the 1950s during the Korean conflict. But there's a problem. The Navy didn't like the FJ2 Fury too much, so it didn't have a super long service life. You had jets like the Panther that were more preferred by pilots. Matter of fact, we have a docent here named Dale Bourbon. He's actually a veteran of the Korean. He was a naval aviator. Often talked about how he didn't like this aircraft, preferred the Panther jet.
What did he
So,
personally
here's the
dislike
thing.
about it?
It just wasn't easy to fly.
Oh.
But here's the thing about this aircraft. The Navy had a lot of them. So the Navy had to get rid of them. But here's the thing, the Navy's just not going to destroy them. So guess what the Navy did? They do what they always do.
Sell it to foreign countries.
No.
And then get into conflict with them.
No, Miss Pippa.
Oh.
Whatever the Navy doesn't want, they give to the Marines.
Yeah!
Dang, okay.
Chat, you know what I'm talking about. If it's not what the Navy wants and they don't want to use it, they give it to the Marines. They give them the leftovers. But the Marines, they're tough as nails and they make do with what they are given.
Yeah.
So my best friend Hunter.
What's the yellow thing?
Huh?
What is the yellow thingy by it?
Oh, that's a fuel pod.
Oh.
So when pilots are on extended missions, see that silver thing pod right here? Those are drop tanks. They would fill those up with fuel so that way when they're on doing extended missions, they had a longer gas tank. They would drop them once they were empty, and then they're running clean without their drop tank. And that's a bomb.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
Touch
Don't
it.
touch it.
Why aren't there chains around it?
So we gotta prevent y'all.
Huh? What'd you say?
I know what y'all. You guys are stealing weapons of mass destruction. I know what you guys do.
Nuh-uh.
I've never seen a bomb before.
I have never done that yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's,
We're planning it though.
That'll be the carrier con special. Carrier con special.
You're putting ideas in people's brains.
I'm just educating the public. This smart.
Who's the guy in the back? In the yellow, up in the thing.
Oh, that's Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Yeah.
Can we go
Is
up
that
there?
a real guy?
Oh.
Ooh.
I can't tell what this is.
It's in here.
It's on top. What? The line is red. Oh, it's X.
Exit sign. Oh, dining
Yeah, but
table.
it's scary.
Yours. Mr. Cameraman, thank you. Mr. Cameraman's flashlight is better.
Super.
Yay.
No.
Hell yeah.
But you have a nice little mess like here, nice table here. But then you got an operating table right smack in the middle of it. Because this
Operating
is where they
table.
have emergency operations.
Where people
Oh,
eat.
Next to the dining area.
Next.
Next. Rare houseplants. Oh, girl. Racist Disney. Yes.
What's cracking, everybody, and welcome to another Try Not to Cringe challenge! Yay! What if I actually talked like that? Would that matter to all y'all? What if I was like that? Would you care? Would you care? Regardless, yes, it is time. Once again, the noble will be attempting to steal himself from all sorts of cringe. That's right, the Try Not to Cringe challenge. Yeah, I got a cool intro for that now too. Did you like that? Did you like that? I thought it was neat. You guys have sent me the worst, nastiest things, and I have asked for it on my Twitters. And I'm just gonna go through it and probably lose. But you know, I think there's hope for me this time around. Okay, guys, I think I got this. I am the cringe master. It's time I wore my crown with dignity and grace, if that is possible to be cringy and have dignity and grace. I think that's the opposite. Well, regardless, everyone, follow me and have a good time. Let's go. Okay, I already see one thing here by Little Jedi. I don't like where it's going, but I guess we're gonna just check it. Yeah.
No.
That's a lot of feeling. I don't know if I want to feel that. That is not something. Why did you have to put him like that? What's with the music? Why is it all happy? That doesn't even make sense. Why would you do that, man? I don't want to do that to my friend. In publicly. Oh, good. Now he sent me another double dosage. My favorite, injected into my veins. Oh God. Anyway, let's just do this.
What is the meaning of life?
Yes. What is the meaning of life? It's boobs, isn't it?
Little Jedi.
Little Jedi.
Little Jedi.
Really?
Little Jedi.
Really?
Grandmaster here or Little Jedi? Little Jedi.
Oh.
Mr. Jedi.
Oh my God! It's like a narrative. Did he?
Really?
Did he just really? Did he? No. Oh!
Why are you blushing?
But God, you! Oh my lord! Oh! Oh my lord! Did I really just reach into my pants and pull out little? Did you really just make me reach into my pants and pull you out of that? I don't know whether to cringe or to laugh my fucking ass off at that. I am maybe a mix of both, but I haven't lost it. All right, there's no cringing. Maybe just my jaw agape. That doesn't count. All right, I haven't lost yet. Shut up. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Oh no, damn it. No. That didn't count. All right, look, it's just. Oh fuck, Jesus. Look, stubbing your toe against something, it's not like I feel it in my foot right now or anything. You just made me turn fucking tsundere, you son of a bitch. That's... God damn it. Honestly, like, it's the little things like that make me cringe more than, like, just seeing, like, those anime characters with, like, getting, like, their eyes stabbed or other things. It's just the things that everybody has done to themselves. An anime collector's worst nightmare. Oh... Oh my god, oh, man, I can't even look at that, dude. That's just, that hurts my heart, dude. That's like, you just fucking shot my heart like several times. Oh man, those look really fucking expensive too. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's even worse that you look down and you can see all the broken pieces too. Hey Noble, why is May so good at parties? Cause she knows how to break the ice! That was cold. It wasn't very nice. You ought to chill before you cause more mayhem. Savvy? Alright guys, that's alright. I'm blocking you guys from the streams. I mean, those were some amazing puns right there. Alright, you know, alright, I'm sorry. That is honestly, I gotta stop. Alright, I gotta stop. Me and my dream boyfriend dancing. Did you just do a furry Obama dance? Did you really just do a sensual furry Obama dance? And what is with the colors on that furry too? What kind of thing has like these neon glowing fucking teal lines going down its muzzle? I mean, I'll give them like 10 points for creativity. But yeah, the main question here is, which one's the dream boyfriend? I'm shocked by how people didn't know that Keemstar liked anime. Alright, look, there's nothing wrong with that, alright? It's just a little bit of Chester, a manly rem, okay? The manliest of manly rem. I kind of like rem with aviators on. It's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of crossplay. I think that's kind of shit's hilarious. The cringe is real. Alright, let's check it. Put me up here, baby. Cringy anime, okay. Wait, alright. Cringy anime memes. Okay. Sounds like someone's moaning there. You having like a good time? Oh. Really? Look, I'm pretty sure that's not what happens when you put that in there. I'm pretty sure you just typed in lost pause. You know what? Shots fine. You know, that's fine. You know, whatever. I see how you guys play. I see how you guys play. But honestly, it sounded like you were doing something naughty when you were typing that in. I'm just saying. I like the last one. I put the fun in funeral. I put the laughter in slaughter. I put the cute in execute. And I put the arrow in pure. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, you motherfucker. Alright, that's actually pretty fucking clever what you did there. I'm not gonna lie. That was actually pretty fucking clever. But goddamn it, man. Why you gotta play with my heart, man? It's like you shot an arrow through it. Oh wait, that was Pierce. He forgot to turn off the projector. And that's, that is a certain hentai doujinshi shite there that I see. Yeah, he just got it right. I like how this one kid is like trying to hold in his laughter there. Way to go, fucking professor. You're fucking looking at hentai during the middle of your goddamn... What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Looks like she's getting some extra credit.
Remember when Phineas and Ferb went to Tokyo? Oh, I'll be honest, I don't think I ever watched this show, but okay, let's check it. Alright.
Konnichiwa. Steichi no tomodachi desu.
Oh, wow. Really? Is that how it works?
Wow, Stacy sure has a lot of cousins.
Yeah. What is the... Did they actually just do that? They did the caramel... No. No.
Hey, do you guys have any vegetable oil?
This is not how it works. This is absolutely race... Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh fucking shit! Did they really just do that? Is absolutely race. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh fucking shit! Did they really just do that? Did they really just do something as racist as fuck as that?
I have no idea what just happened.
Got it.
Wow. How the fuck did they get away with something as fucking
So
racist
fucking funny.
as shit as that? Wow. That was absolutely disgusting what they just fucking did there. I'm gonna have to sit down after that one here. I need a fucking breather. That was bad. Notice me, senpai. Math jokes, man. Why did you have to do the fucking math jokes, dude? What's this about? Well, this has 83 likes on it. That's just my face on there. It's just me doing a derpy face, and now somebody's saying, why do I hear Goofy's voice when I look at this? Gosh, I don't know why you hear Goofy's voice. I murdered them all. I murdered everyone. Alright, that was a Pink Album reference there, okay? Oh shit, that is an electrical plug stuck inside of a foot.
No.
Oh,
Pain.
I cannot walk.
Pain.
I cannot walk. Oh my lord. Damn. Damn, that's like worse than a fucking Lego. Backgrounds. You never know what you can find in them. The classy ass.
Nice.
The classy ass. That's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing. You can tell a Yu-Gi-Oh fucking thing by the redonkulous fucking spiky hair that has multiple colors in it. The classy ass flower shop. All right. Hey man, if you like a classy ass flower shop, that's where you want to fucking go. Wanted to take a romantic bath with him. There's the fucking toaster plugged in. I see what you, a brave little toaster meme, man. Oh god, you know, the brave little toaster meme as a kid kind of freaked me out at this one point about this AC thing. There were some really kind of creepy and off-putting things as a kid about that whole movie. But you know, that's just me. This teacher is the highlight of the glass, and it looks exactly like that highlighter. What does she look? To be honest, I had a professor in college where the only thing she would wear was a singular color. If she was wearing orange, it was everything fucking orange that day. That reminds me exactly like that. I'm not talking just like a plain orange. I'm talking a bright ass motherfucking orange, man. Dabba-Kazam! Dabba-Kazam delete.
Dabba-Dabba-Doo.
Dabba-Kazam! That's like on the verge of being super cringe and fucking hilarious at the same time. But I think that's more on the hilarious. No mercy. Chief, look!
McDonald's.
Lily, what did I tell you about wearing that in front of me? Do not do that to me!
No.
Take it off now, little girl! The diviner girl fell. Look for her underwear or rape her!
What the fuck?
Classic fucking choices in a fucking hentai.
Prince.
Are you fucking kidding me? One of those choices! Maybe I could help her. Or I could just rape her. You know, no big deal. Alright, I think we went a little bit too classy right there. I think it's about time to call it. Yeah, that's about it. So, I'm pretty sure I lost. I'm pretty sure I fucking lost miserably, but that's fine.
No,
we all lose sometimes in life, okay? It's about overcoming the losing and becoming a winner in the end, right?
Thanks for the memories.
But let's...
This is just like you, only sweeter. Yeah, okay. Better.
Oh, goody. You just ate the whole thing, goody. Okay. No. Just hides across and eats everything. I mean, to be fair, I'm in Japan right now, and some of the food's really tasty. I'll be like Ogre. I be eating everything up in here. Big American man coming through. Anyway, what's cracking, guys? And welcome. I am in Japan, if you couldn't tell. This is not my normal atmosphere. I'm by myself in a hotel room all alone. No, wait, hold up. No, anyway, I got some good memes here for you. Stick around, some video game meme stuff here for you. Let's get straight to it. How Joker looks talking to Morgana from normal people's point of view.
The easiest and best way for us to fight climate change.
Climate change? Oh, it's a cat.
I can see that.
Okay, right. Amazing input there, Morgana. Amazing. Okay, I guess that's better than like a stand user. With like a stand user, you wouldn't even see them doing anything, and they just be like standing there aura farming. Wait, that's the escape from Duck Off, Duck. Oh. Why would you do that? Oh, that's a big duck. Oh, you ducked up now, bro.
Oh, no.
Okay, man, maybe you should apologize. You really think that was the good idea right there?
Save yourself.
You know how tanky that duck is? How many bullets he can take?
So many.
Jesus Christ. That's scary, man. That's honestly scary. JRPG Pro tags will get hit by this and survive because they were blocking or had defense up. Okay? Wait, the Saturn rings? Wait, what? It just slices through the entire Earth. Wait, hold up. You're telling me to destroy a single tiger, you summon Saturn's rings and slice the Earth in half. That's a little bit far, but then again, my favorite game of all time, Skies of Arcadia, you literally summon the moon to come and crush the enemy on the planet. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. I miss video games based on movies, and the caption up here is, "This is what Little Nightmares looks like to me." Oh. You know, honestly, true. You have to run away. Man out here's trying to get you, throwing pots, pans, knives, and stuff out here. Yo, honestly, I feel like whoever made this Ratatouille game needs to start suing Little Nightmares. They just copied them. This used to be the American dream, and now men are lucky even if they get a single one of these. Okay, so a citizen, buy a house. Okay, we got that. Married, get married. Okay, we're working on that one. And Dragon Soul, absorb a Dragon Soul. Well, I was born on the year of the dragon, so maybe I've already accomplished two out of 3 ain't bad. Ain't no way someone made an actual working mobile suit Gundam. Stop it. It's actually flying. It has, oh my God, it shoots. It even shoots. That's kind of dope. Oh, it's not accurate. It's that thing is not accurate. It is just not accurate. But it's pretty cool. I just like showing neat stuff sometimes. It's not really a meme, it's just cool. Hey, yo, little Link. Okay, I kind of remember. This is like towards the end, if I remember. What is Tetra? No! Tetra, why did you decide to jump off like Tetra? Why? Why would you do that, Tetra? Is this a new... Wait, who's that character? Is that like a skin for Widowmaker or something? Oh, I know. Oh, it's Juno. Okay, that's who it is. Or is it not Juno? Oh, it's Kiriko skin. Okay, wait, it's not Kiriko? Oh, it's Diva skin. Oh, okay, it's a Diva. Okay, I got it now. Oh, it's May? Oh, it's not May. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. Wait, that's the wrong game. It was wait, it was Avengers all along? Oh, okay, no, it was just Tracer. It was a Tracer skin. That actually doesn't. No, it's not Tracer. Oh, it's Torbjorn. It's Torbjorn. Of course it is. What else would it be at this point? All right, so saying hello to a certain doctore, and here's that ring though. Mwah. Hey man, you want to be part of my world, man? Yeah. That was basically the new Genshin quest. It's like, hey man, you may hate me, but you know what? You welcome in my world. You want to be like one of me, man? Yo, this place sucks, man. Let me remake it. It's dope. I'll make it so cool. Honestly, well, he was spitting a little bit of facts here and there. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. The most racist Stormcloak and his wife of having a cat. And then which way, son of Skyrim? Do you want the Argonian or the... Which way, little Nord man? I don't understand. They hated all the... They always saying it was for the Nords. You know, they married all the un-Nordic people out there. What they doing? What? He was trying to water that, bro. What the... Yo, I'm watching you. Like, bro... I see what you did there. I liking you. I'm gonna tell you right now, that was not cool, bro. Not cool. Having a nice cat wife, technically a cat. Yeah, second wife, third wife. Anyway, yeah, she's hanging on to Pyrrha, and okay, still clinging on. Pyrrha. When you go to the bathroom. This little cat girl is a little bit clingy, a little bit out here. What are we supposed to do with this, man? I guess she just likes you a lot. I don't know. Thought she'd be on Rex most of the time, but I guess yeah. I mean, to be fair, I would be on Pyrrha too, if I could. I would be there 24/7. Funny seeing Nintendo try to balance showing Resident Evil 9, but not showing blood. And Leon during Nintendo Direct. Oops. I'm a professional, just missing every single shot. Like, it's alright, it's cool though. But look, all the gunplay, really cool, but I'm missing every shot. Oh, speaking of the Direct.
There's nothing. Thank you, sir.
Oh. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. Really, all I saw was the clips of the Resident Evil footage out there, but I mean, I already know what happens in that. Well, if it's really nothing in the partner direct, I guess I really don't need to watch anything. Hey, monkey. What? Riding on his back is my spot. Know your place. Dang, Minna! Being in the 7th grade when Twilight Princess was new. Other kids talk about how Minna was actually hot in the ending. Wonder if I'm being weird for thinking the imp form was hot. Be adult. See that I was ahead of the curve.
What?
I know all you degenerates out there. I see what's going on, man. I'm gonna be honest though. I'm actually missing my little cat Minna a lot right now, man. She's so cute. I miss her. I wanna cuddle her, tell her she's the cutest in the world. I miss my cat. For every single like and subscribe that this video gets is one extra pet from Minnie. When the Wii hand isn't appearing on the TV, so you hit it with a surprise move. Okay? Come on. Where is it? Yeah, track. Okay, yeah. I did have that issue a little bit with the old Wii. Sometimes I just think it wasn't tracking or something was going wrong with it, man. It's been forever since I Wii'd. Oh, all right. Oh! Wait, the thing's alive. Oh! It just falls apart. How did that robot come out of the thing just like that, man? It just flew right out. No big deal. It just ejected it, slammed into a wall. Oh, well, I guess we're not getting that suit. Oh, well. The Korrak's reactions to armorless Link is hilarious in an adorable way. Nikke. He's just talking to him. Does he hate clothes? Oh, man. He no clothes. And underpants. Just making fun of you. All right. They deserve to make fun of you. That is exactly what a little kid would do to you. Okay. All right, well, you just hit him when he comes up. Oh no, it hits the... Oh! It just shoves him right off the disrespect, man. It's like, bro, you missed it entirely. Get out of here. Get out of here. Goblin Slayer warned us of this. No big swords in tight corridors. What are you doing to Mita?
I may not have a brain, gentlemen.
No, don't look
but
at
I have an idea.
Half of Mita like that, man. I know what you're thinking, and I know some of y'all thought the same thing. Honestly, when I played through it, I might be guilty of doing the same thing. I honestly don't remember if I did the same thing during my playthrough of it. It's locked. as a dinosaur is about. Well, darn, that's really unfortunate. Could have used that door right now. It's not looking good. It ain't looking good. Okay, nice jello, I guess. Okay. Wait, what? Okay, it's horning. It's jiggling. All right, it's her cloak. It's kind of cute, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of like the jello now. No! Why did you do that? No. Warning, no. Warning, laughing at people's limit breaks is strictly prohibited. Oh. Wait, is that the Final Fantasy IX protagonist out there? He got Squall glasses looking at this guy like, you know, I actually kind of like the art style of Final Fantasy IX. It's one of those games that I've always wanted to play through, but I just couldn't because I never had the time to, and I didn't know he turned like that. He turns out like that? And we got an Uma out here. Trainer, let's take a dip together. Nope, this is where I draw the line. Wait, that's it? That's all the options? Psy games, take a dip together, can't go to yes. What do you mean? What do you mean I can't choose yes? I don't draw the line, you draw the line, Psy games. When you shake the Wiimote in Mario Galaxy. Okay. Okay, spin like, why is the rabbit just spinning like that? What's he doing? Okay. He just spin it to win. It's really cute though. That was kind of fun. Motion controls is kind of fun, but I do think just using buttons is better. Collars? I don't sell those. I don't know what gave you that idea. I'm not even sure what I'd use those for. I just see them in the back. It's not like I'd be wearing them or anything.
Last one.
I can literally see the box of them from here. Like, what do you, come on, zoologists. What do you mean, all right? You go on that friggin' full moon or the blood moon out there, you see some stuff out there. You see the stuff. The portraits have definitely activated a lot of people in Terraria right now. Yeah, they definitely activated a lot of people. Oh, Jesus, missed. I brought somebody. Oh, I'm sorry. The dinosaur that picked me up in his mouth and chewed me, then spat me out, it just missed. No big deal. 0 damage. Classic JRPGs. You gotta love it. About a nickel for every time a person was about to be eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex in this video. I have 2 nickels. Wow, I'm so proud of this pyramid I built for the villagers. Wall of Flesh has been defeated. And it's corrupted. And now it's corrupted. See, this is why I know it's awful and it takes time to do, but I just build like big trenches to save and preserve areas just to make sure that, you know, we can preserve a desert and other biomes because, oh man, when the corruption gets to your home, it's just awful at that point. Putting voodoo dolls in dead cells jars turns the fluid white. I don't know if that's true. I need to play the new Terraria update, but if that's true, dear God. Hey, Malin, there was something I always wanted to tell you. Well, say it, Link. I love you. Stay away from my precious flower. Ah, you almost stepped on it. Ay, papa. Ay, papa. I like how this is in Spanish, but yeah. Okay, that is classic. I honestly think he would be okay with it. Ingo, that other guy, though. No, I'm pretty sure he hates Link and Malin and everybody. Anyway, that's gonna do it here for our video game meme, especially in Nihon land. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I know the uploads are a little spread out now, but hey, you know, I'm on vacation. Let me enjoy it. So, you know what? I'll see you beautiful sons and guns again next time.
Finish the story.
Oh, cool. I wonder what telepathic-based superpower they gave the professor. And then what? What did he get? All right. He's ulting. Wait. Wait, what? What did he just... I can feel your fear after that. I mean, I would be afraid too if some telepathic man spun to like 360 on me, no-scope me into the sky and slammed me away. I don't know what. I thought he had psychic powers, dude. You did everything there. That was insane. What's cracking, gamers? And it's your boy again, Lost Paws, aka Noble. Who actually calls me just Lost Paws? I think most people that watch my content now just call me Noble. Regardless, though, yeah, I got some good video game memes for you today, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, slam the like button. Let me know. I also have a slightly different editor today. You could call him Neko right now. I don't know how he's going to choose to reveal himself here. But regardless, go easy on him. Embarrass him, whatever you want to do. My other one's just on vacation, so don't worry, he'll come back. Chino will be back. Perhaps. A cow in Minecraft watching me check out my friend's house in creative. Oh. That's a big bot. Like, oh, what is this force of destruction just hovering above me? Like, hello? I mean, yeah, if I saw someone T-posing and flying above me and I guess conjuring freaking marble out of their butts to build a house, I would be a bit afraid of them, yes. Especially since they're immortal gods that I could do nothing to, but they have all the power in the world to summon TNT all around me. I would be afraid. She has a side quest for... Aww. The cat's got a little thing. It just needs a little exclamation mark above its head. That's so cute. That's a cute little cat. It's keeping its butt warm from the light on the bottom there, though. I know exactly what that's doing. It wants a warm butt. I mean, to be fair, there's been plenty of times where, you know, you sit down on that leather car seat in the summertime or spring, and it's just the right temperature for that tuchus. And then there's the other times where it's blazingly hot and melts your skin.
What did bro expect to happen?
Okay, TikTok voice. So what is the bike gonna? You can easily ram him. Oh.
What did bro expect to happen?
He's got no weight behind that. He's trying to use Mario Kart physics or something out there. He's just gonna go, and he's gonna go off, and he's just gonna become a speed bump. Like, come on, man. This ain't Mario Kart. You don't got no green shell. Oh, I love these. How would you decorate the space out here with the little landing? And Ditzy Flama with this.
Oh, gear.
Okay. Mario going up. Okay. That's really good the way he went up the stairs there and just got smashed by that stinking piano. I gotta admit though, anytime when I saw that piano, when you first meet that piano in Mario 64, I got scared crapless out of that. I was so afraid of that stinking piano. Even though it's relatively slow moving, it's intimidating. What, Patrick?
Yes.
Oh, the scaffolding. Oh no. Oh, with the creepers?
Damn, I couldn't open 20.
Patrick, no. Oh, he didn't realize that was a trap just full of creepers. I mean, dang, dude, that's one clever trap. Who doesn't want to break that? When you see something so easily breakable, there's so many people that are gonna want to do something, and then they're all just in boats waiting for you. That's rough, buddy. Who did this to bro? Okay, touch the blood stain, and he's getting rammed up the wall. Wait, what? Hey, yo, what? Oh, wait. What happened to the guy? He's just floating there going up and down. And then how big is that thing? Oh, God. That's one way to go, man. That is not the way to go, dude. I've seen off-brand that look less violent than whatever happened to that poor thing. Dear Lord, I do not want to meet that monster. That's something out of Berserk. For your crimes against humanity, I hereby banish you to the depths, you heathen. Oh, God. Wait, the horse is suspended in a carriage that's slowly burnt. Oh, no. Oh my God. Actual Dark Lord status out here.
Yes, terrible.
I mean, he is wearing the Ganon swag with Majora's Mask. Okay, man. To be fair, I think horses are very...
Who else? She does? I don't believe so. More Marathon China. Discord, yeah. You can watch this Discord thing. Drama around it.
Discord announced this week that they will globally enforce age verification on their users starting in early March. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to warn tech companies to have as little of our data as possible.
Yeah, they've shown time and time again that they are wholly incapable stewards, even under the best conditions, so this is just bad all around. But don't worry, Discord's out here doing backflips to promise that they won't have or use or sell any of your data, and if they do, it's just for such a small time, just so small, so small. Don't worry about it. Just be okay with it.
Lawrence, I don't believe that for a second. Discord announced the universally hated news via press release earlier this week. These are the same restrictions Discord previously rolled out in the UK and Australia in reaction to social media legislation passed in those territories.
Yeah, but I guess they're getting ahead of the ball by just applying it to everyone on the planet. The new restrictions will set all users to a teen by default sort of setting that automatically applies just a load of content restrictions.
So the teen accounts will be unable to access age-gated spaces. Content filters will blur or black out restricted content. Direct messages from unconnected users are routed to a different inbox. And teen accounts will not be allowed to speak on stage in servers.
Don't worry. I mean, that sounds really annoying, but don't worry. Discord assures you over and over again that the age verification process will be safe and secure.
I'm shaking my head as much as I can. So for starters, Discord says these restrictions won't even be visible for the majority of users as they, quote, don't access age-restricted content and will never go through a facial age estimation flow or ID verification.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really use Discord for any of that, so it's quite possible. But even if a user does, even if you do, if you're a smut enjoyer on Discord, they say that their age inference model can use the information they already have about your account and your usage habits to estimate your age with high confidence.
Ooh, they don't say what info they use to estimate age, describing, quote, patterns of user behavior and several other signals associated with their account on Discord.
They do specifically say that they do not, that's emphasis in Discord, they bolded the not, they do not use message content to estimate your age. So it's probably like usage patterns. The child's probably not using it when they would be in school, or a teen probably not using Discord when they would be in school, or something like that. I'm probably speaking out of ignorance there, but you just got to trust their big data is essentially what they're saying.
No. If Discord's fancy machine learning can't peg you as an adult, no pun intended, and you want to look at spicy materials, you'll have to verify your age in one of a few ways.
Yes, users can provide a video selfie for an on-device age check via AI.
Yuck. Discord promises that any video provided for this verification never leaves the user's devices.
Sure, yeah, but cunning gamers circumvented that age check using Death Stranding's photo mode last year. They just pointed their phones at their monitor and had Sam Bridges look left, right, open his mouth. And it worked for a while. Yeah, so there's some bugs they got to plug.
Users can also supply photos of their government ID, which are received and verified by a third-party vendor. I've had to do this many times with like tax documents and other random things like a passport, stuff like that. So that sounds like it's going to get applied to Discord as well.
Yeah, but Discord's a private company. I hate that shit. Discord promises over and over again that these images are deleted immediately after age confirmation.
And yet, hackers breached one of those third-party vendors last year, potentially exposing ID photos of up to 70,000 people, in addition to partial credit card details and messages exchanged with Discord's customer service agents.
They actually did acknowledge that event briefly in their blog post, assuring folks that the age verification vendors they are using now, quote, were not involved in the September 2025 data breach of our customer service agent. So don't worry. All that compromised personal information was over there. It's not over here, even though it's the same company.
Yeah, right. Discord assures users that they only ever get your age out of this whole process and no other identifying information.
Additionally, Discord says that your age is not visible by any other users, just you.
Discord also promises that, quote, we will not use your age assurance information to target you with advertisements And we don't sell your data.
Until they
I don't
do.
know that I believe any of this. Yeah, I'm not sure that I believe any of those statements.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to get around. They can make a lot of empty promises and then effectively do the exact thing they're saying they're not doing by just like splitting some hairs, but we'll get to that in a minute. Appropriately, I think, Discord users did not receive this announcement very well.
In addition to the data leak we previously mentioned, folks are understandably cynical about Discord's promises to keep all of this information private.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure they'd love to until anyone squeezes them a little bit or there's a buck to be made and they need dollars. Recent headlines also illustrate examples of tech firms willingly working with the United States federal government, such as Microsoft supplying BitLocker decryption keys to the FBI.
This understandably distresses many folks that could be a target for the current fascistic U.S. government, like immigrants and trans individuals. And I'm telling you what, once they go after them, we're next,
They're
brothers.
coming after the people.
We are next.
Yeah, you can tell yourself you're at the front of the line, but they'll work their way through that line no matter what. And yeah, the less, if you're in a group that's under attack right now, the last thing you want is to be throwing around your ID or anything that could potentially mark you as a member of that class to a private company that the U.S. government could just steamroll over and take all their data.
Absolutely. Windows Central noticed that Google searches for a, quote, Discord alternative jumped around 10,000% in the days since this announcement.
Yes, it's been fun. Old heads like myself, we're all fondly remembering and potentially celebrating a return to antiquity with chat services like Mumble, TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, even the gold standard IRC.
Man, oh man. I mean, Lawrence, we're doing this show on Discord right now. We do every single day. I've been using Discord, every day, multiple times a day for years now. And Discord used to be a fantastic program. And really, they have been enshittifying the program over the last, 2 years or so, 2.5 years, when they started needing money bad. And so this is a huge blow to Discord's reputation that already was sort of on the decline.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. If Discord had existed in its own format, unchanged for the last 5-10 years, I'd be a lot more willing to grant them some amount of clemency, or at least the shadow of the doubt. But yes, the constant erosion of the service and the willingness of Discord to push annoying pop-ups or monetize the service increasingly, that means I have no faith that the promises they're making now will be valid a year from now or even 6 months from now. It's all so easy to say this shit right now, but the second that there's a turnover in leadership or someone that just assumes the world forgot about all the promises they made comes along and they're like, oh wait, we could make money. Why aren't we making this money? Somebody's like, well, we said we wouldn't. And then that person is immediately fired and it's off to the races with everything they've collected on you in the last handful of years. So to me it's a bit rich and a little insulting that they're basically just asking you for faith, which is the one thing I don't have in any tech company these days.
I don't have that in any private company at all. It doesn't matter what company it is. Whenever they're trying to promise that something won't be used negatively or something won't, that's all bullshit. Literally at this point, I don't necessarily even think that they have the best intentions. I think they're just lying. And I just assume that every private company is lying to me when they say that kind of stuff. Because like you said, all of those random things, any condition at all in a private company, turnover in leadership, all of a sudden the middle manager comes up and is like, wait a second. It's exactly what you said. Literally, it's one dude can walk into a room and be like, why aren't we making money? And then everybody goes, throw those promises out the window. So it's like, none of this I promise you, I'm going to promise you right now that those private companies are lying to you and they're going to continue lying to you. Just assume the worst about private companies. And Discord has not at all earned my faith in the last 3 years.
Yeah, not mine either. And I, you know what? I'm okay with a return to a decentralized internet. I think we've all felt the sting of coalescing too much internet discourse and conversation into one service, because then that service has a creepy amount of control over those conversations. You see that on social media now with basically manipulated algorithms guiding conversations and forming people's worldviews.
You're talking to a
So yes, if we can scatter, go back to some tribal internet, I think that would probably be the healthiest for smaller communities. Another thing that I touched on briefly that's a bit concerning to me is, sure, they're promising they're not selling your data. They're promising that the video you use for ID check is not leaving your device. But they can still profile you, and that's concerning. That's how it's done on the internet. They don't know who you are, and they say that as though it's some kind of cloak of anonymity. To some degree it is, but also they know everything about you. Just because on their database your identity is a string of letters and numbers and maybe hyphens, that doesn't mean that they haven't immediately profiled you and that they can't trade that information to someone else. Sell for money, maybe not, but there's a bunch of other ways to get benefits that don't involve getting a check for trading people's data. And yeah, when the FBI knocks on their door and they say, we want all the data you have on Discord users that have been profiled as trans. They don't need your video. Like if the video that you record on your device sends these markers to their system, and it may not even be used for that right now, but in retrospect, combined with other data, they can form a shockingly accurate profile on who you are and what you do based on the circumstantial bits of data you leave around the internet just by existing. So that sucks, and I fully agree with anyone that's concerned about that and doesn't want this company to have their data anymore. And yeah, go to IRC. I'll say this, you'll never feel more like a PC power user than in an IRC chat room. And to some degree, that may be a little too intimidating. I remember back in the 2000s, in a desperate attempt to try to find some very rare video games, I had to trawl some very restrictive, exclusive IRC chat rooms. And there was a whole song and dance. You had to like farm points and use the right commands and talk to bots to get download links to, and you had to like seed torrents to get credits. I don't know, it was a whole thing, but it made me feel very cool, and I want that for you too.
So cool. Another weird thing about all of these Discord age verifications is I believe in this stuff in theory. I'm a parent, and I have a very young child who eventually will be using, you know, Discord or who knows what
the internet
in the next few years. So the age verification thing I really believe in. I just don't believe in the companies themselves. There isn't one company that I would trust to say, oh, we'll verify, you know, the age of your 10-year-old, and then they can, and they're gonna for sure, like, I don't want to sell my 10-year-old's data. That's crazy, and they're going to take it and they're going to use it for monetary purposes. They're not going to use it
all about
because they want to make everybody safe. There is no company that does that. So it's a really strange scenario for me as a parent, as a dad, to be in, because I really do believe in the age verification portion of it. I guess the only sort of, this is going to sound insanely crazy. I guess the government is the only other place that could do this, but even then, they already do. What are they doing with my data? Like, it's the worst, right? Like, this is just all the way around bad. So of course, I default to being a parent. That's number one. I decide what they're going to use, when they're going to use it, on what device. That's my job, and I know it is. So I believe in this stuff in theory, but fucking geez, in practice, it's a nightmare.
Yes, and it's deeply uncomfortable. The thing, to top it all off with the ultimate note of cynicism, though.
Fine.
I'm fairly certain that despite the bad news and despite how upset people are, I do think that, like Discord says, the majority of users will probably never know that these restrictions have been rolled out because they're probably accurately profiled as being the right age by their usage habits already. I mean, something can be as simple as you have a Discord account that's X years old. That combined with your usage probably means that you're over teenage years already. YouTube did something similar. It did lead to some conspiratorial thinking about people being defaulted into kids mode and things like that. And to some degree that may have been the case.
Yes.
But most people have gone on using YouTube without too much disruption. So I think that's the case. I think for the fraction of a user group that does get hit with a pop-up asking them to verify their age, that may be enough for them to say fuck Discord and move away. But I think for you and I and a lot of other people listening to this, you'll open up Discord, nothing will happen, the world will keep on turning, and people will probably find a way to forget about this, or at least it'll get overwritten by the next world cataclysmic tragedy that's just around the corner.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Lawrence. It's kind of sad. But thank you very much for watching our videos, Inside Games. We don't want your data, just your time. So thank you very much for sharing that with us. Also, do me a favor and send me a picture of your face. I need that right now.
So hit that join.
If you really, really want, send me a picture of your face and your money.
Yes.
It's a joke. I'm kidding. But we do have a Patreon that we actually do take people's money because they support our channel. And it fuels our game reporting in these videos, so please give it a look. We'd like to shout out some especially brave gamers that support the show directly, not with their face, but with their money. Just a Chair, Versalite, UESC Battleroid, and J Embers 87. We don't know who any of you guys are. We're keeping it that way. We're going to keep you at arm's length here.
Why? Why would they do that? Okay, just buy gold.
Wait, is that hard?
Cute. Alright, let's see what else. What else can we watch? Am I winning? Yes, I'm winning. A dragon. I love the dragon. So we just had an update. Puppy! Puppy's here. What's the dog gonna do? What does that mean? Failure rates.
5 Ryzen 9000s were killed in a single day by ASRock motherboards, allegedly. ASRock has issued a statement saying it's investigating reports of AMD Ryzen 9000s failing on its AM5 motherboards. The company says that it is conducting internal reviews, working with AMD, and rolling out BIOS optimizations to improve stability. This comes after 5 different Reddit posts claiming multiple Ryzen 9000 chips across different models stopped working, with some cases showing systems unable to boot even after BIOS updates. In most of these reports, the chips are getting hot enough to leave scorch marks on the CPU and socket. Ooh. And Tom's Hardware found around 350 reports of the same issue, albeit those ones are not verified. So our discussion question here is, when hardware failures start trending online, how much should consumers rely on these anecdotal reports versus official failure rate numbers?
Yikes, that's tough. Anecdotes are important. I don't think anecdotes should just be ignored. Official failure rate data, though, might take a really long time. And I think you should be aware of the anecdotes, just in case there isn't official failure rate data. Also, where did the official failure rate data come from?
Yeah, I wish I could... Who would I trust today if they gave me, like, internal failure rates? Who would you trust?
Internal failure rates?
I'd trust Noctua.
Okay.
If Noctua published a failure rate, which I don't think they ever would, but if they did, I think I'd believe them. Is there anyone else you can think of that you would believe?
I don't mean to offend. I think effectively no one. I think it's like... And this isn't because I'm like, companies are evil. It's like, there's always the potential of a perverse incentive at every company everywhere. There's always the potential. There are companies where I think it might happen less. I am very ignorant to the reality of a lot of those companies. Like, yeah, my gut check says that Noctua is probably going to be legit about it. But do I have any idea how Noctua functions as a company? Not in the slightest.
I think I probably have a little more insight than you.
Like, talked to them? I've literally never talked
to them. But not much, because I'm not just taking them at their word. Like, they've said over and over again, like, we cared about this and we made it quiet and reliable and we care about measurements and engineering and testing, and then that has borne out so many times that I've built.
There's a bit of a track record going on.
Yeah, there's a track record.
But you're not in meetings with them, seeing how they deal with management.
No, I'm not.
So who knows? There might be a perverse incentive somewhere, which could push someone to skew things a little bit. Like you never know.
I haven't met every single person who works at Noctua. That's for sure.
No. So there are companies that I would see that data from and believe more. There are companies that I would see that data from and believe less.
Faxon says
I would want third party.
I'd trust Puget Systems. Puget.
They're pretty freaking legit.
They're pretty based.
They're pretty freaking based.
I've met John. He's pretty based.
That's one that I would index quite high in the. But for basically all, and when I say third party, this is a problem with all of these situations. A third party can't be hired by them. We have seen this. We've literally seen this happen. When that data gets skewed. There was an Intel one a bunch of years back. We talked about it on Wyan Show.
You're not talking about Principled Technologies, are you?
Maybe that was it.
Where the benchmark data was off.
I think that is what I'm talking about. Then. It's not failure rate data, but I'm just talking about almost any data coming from the company. Sure.
And I think that my bar would be lower for a private conversation versus something that they published. If an SI, for instance, told me yeah, we've seen a 50% failure rate on these bloody things in the field, that's very talking shop.
Higher numbers also make me believe it way more.
And I would
if somebody said 50% failure rate, I would just believe it.
Especially if we're talking as. And the context of the conversation matters as well. We're talking as business owners.
Yes.
And if I was talking about oh yeah, we had this issue with our backpack where the stupid bloody supplier didn't put the two layers on. They're
I'm going through this right now. It's horrible.
Yeah, we're getting over half of our whatever card X is failing in the field, and it's costing me a fortune in warranty returns. Where you're swapping war stories.
Yeah.
A little bit. The context.
I'm trying to believe that a little bit more. Yeah.
Matters. Slithery says Falcon. Falcon is another SI. Actually, two SIs on my list that I think if Kelt told me something, I'd be yeah, because that guy cares so much. I don't think I've met almost anyone else in the industry who's been in it as long as him and just been through the ringer as much as him. And because you got to remember, Falcon's not a volume company.
Yeah.
They're kind of like Puget. They've stayed in their lane and excelled in their niche, but not scaled, right? He's not hanging out on his yacht, every other weekend. He works, and so he's just been kind of working as an SI. So this is back when I was at NCIX. You get kind of screwed on everything. You get screwed on pricing. You get screwed on allocation. You get screwed on support. You go and you list this stuff. And you say, yeah, it's compatible, but oh my God, I didn't even get any of these until yesterday, and a few weeks ago to do a bit of validation and testing, but I don't have the engineering resources that an AMD or an Intel or an NVIDIA has, so I'm doing my best with open source tools or community built tools. It's a really tough business, and yeah, Kelt's still super passionate, which is impressive.
Mm-hmm. Cool guy.
The thing about an SI, though, is they're not really throwing their own product under the bus.
They could be. They have their own cases, don't they?
Yeah.
Or if their stuff's overheating.
Yeah. I think even then, though, it's a shared blame. Whereas I think I would have a harder time believing someone's data on their own product. If I told you guys a failure rate for LTT screwdriver, I think that would be harder for you to believe versus if I told you guys a failure rate for our mold maker making the handles or something like that. It's hard to admit your own fault, and I think that we intuitively know that, and we trust people less when they
it's also, you came back to what's the motivation behind the conversation. If you say the failure rate of the mold maker, that to me comes across as woe is me, our expenses are high.
And I'm trying to spin our quality control, rejecting those failures.
If it's further down the line, then you risk the incompetence angle.
That's right. Or I'm throwing a member of my team under the bus, which obviously I would have more sensitivity about versus throwing some random under the bus, right?
Yeah, you don't have to deal with those conversations.
If I had to if for some reason I had to throw Kyle under the bus for something, I would want to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
I would want to. At least a little.
That is a form of perverse incentive. The whole thing's a mess. Basically, I wouldn't blindly trust any of these numbers, but do with any of them what you will.
I'm just I want to check out chat. Hi, Josh says, what about Seasonic? Seasonic, I don't know. I see their behavior as building quality products and standing behind them, but I don't like know that many people there. Like, our rep is amazing. He's like the coolest guy ever, and if he was the CEO of the company, I'd be like, yeah, because he is based. But I don't know the like senior leadership there the way that I do Noxua or Falcon or Puget, where I've like actually met them and had conversations with them. Yeah, what else is here? Yeah, not much, man.
Bits of Bits says, what about LTD Store? I hear those guys are a thing. This might be spooky, but no.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the exact same reason I already gave.
The perverse incentives, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are impossible to 100% get rid of, in my opinion.
Tell me something.
Yeah.
Tell me something. Because what I'll say is, I wouldn't publish that. I wouldn't publish it if it was good, and I wouldn't publish it if it was bad. So for that...
Is this part of why?
So for that reason, if I was to publish it, do you think... I would question my motivation.
I would question your motivation. I think there are motivations that could exist that would make me fairly strongly believe it.
Sure. Like, there'd have to be a reason. Like, why am I talking about, you know, our expenses? Well, there's a reason. There's because somebody has raised this as a thing.
You're like not gonna win that war
with the cables.
No, with the because you're trying to win a questioning war with transparency, but legally cannot be. I don't think you can.
No, I can't be fully transparent.
Yeah.
But what I can say is, objectively, we are making the investments that people seem to think that we're not.
But then but this is the problem, because the questions are infinite. And then, and your problem is, if there is a question at all on the internet, you'll find it.
Oh yeah.
And then that bothers.
I mean, I think I've said about as much as there is to say at this point.
Okay.
For this one. You know, the simple fact is that whether it's through hiring more support or whether it's through scaling salaries, we have, in spite of stagnant revenue over the last few years and declining profits, we have continued to invest in both. And you would never in 1,000 years pry the exact reasons out of me for any single employee's, you know, pay scaling. In fact, in most cases, this may surprise you.
He doesn't know.
I don't do everything, and I don't even know, right? And so you would never, you'd never get that out of me because
and just to force.
And you shouldn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. To force it back to the topic at hand.
Yeah.
This is part of the reason for my comment about the CW stuff. It has genuinely nothing negative to do with CW.
Yeah.
The reason for that comment for me is that it scales into everything, and that included my own, and that's how I view CW. It's not mine, but that's how I viewed it in that context. Was like I would still question it because, like, the second you start getting into distributed work, which is like any company ever that has employees, there's weird stuff going on. There's weird stuff going on everywhere. And like, what if someone's goals, very nobly, it's like, hey, let's get failure rate down. Let's make the products more reliable.
Yeah.
And one of the ways that they can get their bonus or whatever is by being like, numbers 1% higher. Nice, got it. Yeah, stuff might happen.
And I'd have no way of knowing that.
No.
Like, I could stand here and I could pass information along to you guys that I might not even know is bad.
And I love the CW people. They're great.
Yeah.
But just like any company,
but like
people come in, people leave.
Yeah.
Things change.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm sitting here going, like, and it's hard to divorce ourselves.
I am asking 0 people to blindly trust the information from labs.
Yeah.
And I never have.
Well, we've always said you should get multiple sources.
Exactly.
And that's the inherent problem here, is there is no multiple source.
Exactly. I'm falling back to the same argument we have always fallen back to.
But it's hard to divorce myself from personal trust. If Kyle told me, I would believe him.
But that's a
But I
different thing. That's well,
because maybe
there's a required efficiency in order to live in a certain amount of trust in people around you. And I think in your situation,
but not just that, I think he's earned it.
Sure.
Like, he doesn't hide things from me. I don't find out about things later.
Not particularly with Kyle, but I'm talking about from the perspective of an audience member, and I can't tell that audience member to do that.
No, you're right.
If I'm trying to give this audience member, I think the modern people say chat. If I'm trying to give chat good advice on how to, like, approach things and conduct themselves and whatnot.
Yeah.
Blindly believe us because we're cool company is like not the line.
No, we'd never say that.
But that's my point. So it's no slight against CW. Again, I'm pointing at labs. Don't blindly believe stuff from labs either. Get multiple sources. And this is because I'm trying to be consistent.
Yeah, multiple sources, and also, I mean, logicking your way through things is also good too. Understanding, like I've always told people when I talk about negotiations is like understand both sides of the table, or you have absolutely no shot whatsoever of reaching any kind of meaningful agreement, right? And it's the same when you're trying to understand why people are doing the things that they're doing. I think it's very easy to assume that someone is doing something because they're a malicious monster or because they're a big dummy or whatever, but most of the time that's not the case. So if we sit and we go, okay, what would be his motivation for representing this failure rate or this data in this particular way? I think it can help us, and maybe that's where the context of the conversation comes in, because if someone is trying to
goals around this?
if they're trying to impress you with how much loss they've absorbed this quarter, if it's a game of one-upmanship, then if anything you might think they might exaggerate it. Whereas if they're trying to sell you a big contract to use their systems, the last thing that they're going to want to bring up is that 50% of the SSDs they're using have failed in the last quarter.
If someone's trying to sell their company, they want it to look like an extremely well-oiled machine with low failure rates. If someone's trying to get sympathy from their customers, they might try to point that their failure rates are really high because their quality control is really high. There are reasons all over the place, constantly, that especially the I know it's true. I was gonna say especially bigger companies, because there are like smaller factions with their own goals that the people you might know might not even know those people exist, that are causing things to kind of happen within these spaces, and it gets a little bit crazy. So yeah, I don't know. You could use it as information. Yeah, there you go. You could use it as information. I would prefer if it came from more than one source. So like if a company claimed that they had something going on, our devices fail only 3% of the time after 4 years or 2 years or something. Neat. That sounds cool. I'm not going to put a ton of stock into that. Okay. And then if a third-party source, if a creator, YouTube creator, whatever comes out there,
or a retailer,
if Project Farm rips their thing apart for whatever reason,
sure,
I'm going to put more weight on that.
Right. Okay. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean
a non-tech creator.
The exact numbers, right?
No.
Like if AMD were to say our CPU failure rates are less than 1%. And then, like, a retailer were to come out and say, yeah, we get less than 2% returns and most of them still work, it would reinforce it at least, even if it doesn't mean that I believe 100%. But I was gonna bring this up. You said, something about putting more stock in it, and that reminded me, like, some of these companies are public companies on the subject of stock, and there's, in theory, legal ramifications for lying to investors, for instance. Would you believe it anymore if, in addressing this Ryzen CPUs are dying thing, that AMD on a quarterly call said, we've investigated it and we've found that it's actually a failure rate of less than 0.1%, and we are still going to investigate it, but it's a relatively isolated issue. Would you believe it even a little bit more, knowing the sort of the potential legal ramifications around it. If a whistleblower were to come out and say that that's not actually what happened.
I don't think so.
Is that just because of the current zero consequences environment?
3,000%, yeah. Yeah, nothing happens when companies do that, so I wouldn't believe it. If things did, then yeah. Also, I've heard this is true. I'm not even trying to get political, and I've heard this is just like in the business world, like something you should do, but I'm not into it. Naitohan?
Sure.
Said Trump did this with his properties. Forbes calls, it's worth so much. Put me on your super wealthy list. Whatever. IRS calls, the building's falling apart. It's so worthless. You should probably charge me less taxes because the property value is lower. And like this is, he used Trump in that example, brother.
That's
people be doing that.
That's one of the few things that I've believed that man has said over the last decade or so.
Yeah, and tons of other people.
That everybody does that.
Oh yeah. Totally. Like
he said everyone does it, and I was like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, like actually.
So we've all got that friend, right? You know, the one who spent all his money on a sick gaming PC, but then you're gaming together and he's all like, man, my PC sucks. It's no good. But then you're all like, bro, you gotta get your hitching and starters under control. We lost again because of you. But then your other buddy's like, that's good hardware though. He probably just built it wrong or he misconfigured something. But then buddy's all like, no way. I watched Linus. I got all his tech tips. But here's the thing. Even when you're following a guide, it's easy to miss a small detail that can have a big impact on your gaming experience. And that is what we think is going on with Connor's computer. He's got a sick rig with an RTX 3080 Ti and an X3D gaming CPU, and yet he's constantly bogged down by performance issues. Well, I think we can fix them, and I've got just the man for the job. Ploof! That's right, it's time to fix Connor's computer! But first, I'm gonna have to segue to our sponsor! MSI. Their Mag 272 QP QD OLED X50 monitor has it all, from a 500 Hz refresh rate to a 0.03 millisecond gray to gray response time. Check it out at the link in the video description.
My name is Connor, and I'm a video editor here at Linus Media Group. Inside my PC, I've got a 3080 Ti, a 5800 X3D, and exactly 32 gigabytes of RAM. I got two of my friends to build my PC for me back in 2019. They watched Linus Tech Tips, so they knew how to build PCs. Currently, what's wrong with my computer is that it just slows down all the time. Like, I can play one match of a game, and then I start experiencing stutters, and the game takes too long to load. The weirdness isn't only in games, it also happens outside of games as well. So if my computer is stuttering and feeling quite poor, it translates to like my browser as well. It's not exclusively in games. Today I'm hoping to just find anything wrong with my PC. I've thrown my head against the wall a million times, and I always get jealous when I use other people's computers, so I just want to figure out something that I did wrong over the past 6 years.
Something that your two friends did.
Ah, yeah, something that my friends messed. No, it's honestly something that LTT messed up 6 years ago.
Connor, we decided to do this video because I was watching the Steam Average PC and I noticed that you thought that computer with a 3060 and not a 5800 X3D was better than this. And I thought, that can't be right.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know. It just felt better. I don't know. What can I say? I'd be more than happy to play like this. Probably runs better than my home PC.
How long does it take for you to start experiencing issues in a match?
A few matches in. It also depends on the game I'm playing, but a few matches in. Tarkov is notoriously bad for memory leaks and everything.
Yeah.
But even with Valorant, a few matches in, I'm teleporting around corners and not in a good way.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah.
To be fair, if it's teleportation and stuff, it might be a network issue.
Yeah.
but we'll look at your computer at least today. We'll try to find out what's wrong with it. Best case scenario, it's something easy and we fix it almost immediately, in which case I'll go through the rest of our beautiful troubleshooting Connor's computer list. I just want to take a quick look at it and see if there's anything out of the ordinary, and I see this fan's not spinning.
I don't think I had enough
fan headers?
Yeah, or I'm just...
Well, on the plus side, we have a lot of splitters, so at the very least, I'll make sure all of your fans are spinning. Okay, and I see you've got an AverMedia capture card.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, power supply's up top. You have any extra hard drives? These are just empty bays? Oh no, there's drives in there.
I believe there's one in each. Yeah.
Okay.
And then at least one SSD on this side.
It's a little dusty, but it's definitely not the worst I've seen. I do love all your stickers.
Thank you.
I'm a big sticker bomb guy myself. If anything, I'd put more stickers.
I'm a big weeb,
Yeah?
so I had to take one off before coming in.
Why do you have to take it off?
I don't want HR coming after me.
I might need you to come back to log into Steam or something for me, but otherwise, get out of here.
Bye.
Get out of here, Connor.
Don't type P in the search bar.
Step 1. Check to see if things are just in the wrong spots. You wouldn't believe how many times I've looked at a computer that my friend or someone else has built, and they've got their graphics card in the bottom X16 slot, or something like that. His first top X16 is like what I'm assuming is filled by his GPU, so that's fine. The memory is in 2 and 4. That's probably correct, but I will confirm once I get the exact board details and take a look at the manual. His cables seem nice and seated. He is running a pigtail on his 3080 Ti. It's unlikely, but possible that that's not enough juice for the single cable. So if we have an extra PCIe 8-pin cable, then I might swap one of these out. But otherwise, you know, it looks pretty normal. That's it for step 1. Everything is connected, and it looks like it's all connected in the right spot. Before we move on, I'm just gonna make sure that, yes, the RAM is in the right or wrong slot. I'm gonna first figure out what board it is. You don't need to turn it on. Most of the time, markings are pretty easily identifiable right on the PCB, and you can see it here. Silk screened on is X470 Gaming M7 AC. Gaming M7 there, and then there's some MSI logos on the back, and I just popped that exact X470 Gaming M7 AC into Google and got the webpage from MSI. And it does look like they're populated in the correct slots, A2, B2. So the next thing we're gonna do is make sure that nothing's thermal throttling. All right, first things first, we're gonna boot up Task Manager just to make sure everything is as it should be. We've got our 5800X 3D. Everything looks correct, it's barely being utilized. Seems fine. Memory though, it is 32 gigs, but Connor does not have XMP enabled. And it's running at 2133. For DDR4, that's what DDR4 does without XMP. This is almost definitely the problem. Let's take a quick look at everything else. It all kind of seems good. Ethernet is really going. He's probably just downloading a game or something. It's probably just like some update going on right now. And then his GPU, 41C, it's a 3080 Ti, all right. Not doing anything. Seems totally fine. Let me get Cinebench and FurMark installed. We got Cinebench R23 installed. Could use R24, doesn't matter. They're both gonna hit the CPU super hard. And I'm just gonna hit CPU multi-core, and I've got hardware info open so we can watch our temperatures as it runs. Start. It's going. You know, the Wraith Stealth is not a bad cooler for a 5800X 3D, I gotta say, because while, yeah, we hit...
However... Watching real Navy propaganda. Kachi slips up. For real. Let me see the rare. Rare. Oh wait, caps lock was on. Ha ha ha. What's this one? Let's learn about.
This was just a small look at a few of the many types of fruits that are suitable for growing in containers or small spaces. And don't forget to check out my link below to better help, and also let me know what fruits you like to grow in containers. I'm sure it'll be helpful.
Why do we skip to the end?
Hey guys, it's Caleb and Hina. How's it going? So many of you will know that I really because of that mixture of sweetness and tartness. Sometimes in the winter you can find some old fruits that had fallen under the plant, and sometimes the fruit will have completely disappeared from inside the calyx, leaving a little natural basket of seeds. So cool. These plants are really easy to grow from cuttings. I just take a branch and remove the lower leaves, and then place some cuttings into a pot with some potting mix. I keep them well watered, and they should take root pretty easily and be ready after a month or so to plant in a nice sunny spot.
I think I did.
Before we move on to the next fruit, I know so many of you guys have been asking for an update of the food forest and how it's growing. And overall there are things that are growing very well, especially the perennial plants that kind of just grow really well on their own without much effort. I have been really behind on a lot of the garden jobs lately because I've been going through some pretty tough challenges and things in my personal life that's been affecting me quite a lot, and the weeds are definitely not giving me a break. I know there may be many of you that are also going through some rough times and personal challenges, but one thing that's really helped me over the last few months to prioritise my well-being and get to a better place mentally has been working with a therapist. And I've been doing that online with BetterHelp, who are kindly sponsoring today's video. So BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy, and that way BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. You can schedule weekly sessions via phone, video or chat at a time that's convenient to you, and you can message your therapist at any time as well. With BetterHelp you get the same professionalism and quality you'd expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who's custom picked for you, and there's more scheduling flexibility and at a more affordable price. For me it took a little while to eventually decide to get started with therapy, and honestly I do wish I started it a bit earlier, but since working with a therapist I do feel like I'm really getting back on track with things and finding the balance that I need. Anyway, you can get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/thekiwigrower. That's better H-E-L-P, and I'll leave a link down in the description for you to check out. Cheers BetterHelp. So this beautiful little plant here is called a pepino or pepino melon. They're native to South America. And what I really like about these plants, well, there's actually a lot that I like about them, but they are quite an ornamental little shrub. They've got beautiful leaves and these bright purple and white flowers with the gold centre.
Cute.
And the flowers actually remind me a little bit of potato flowers, and that's because these are in the same family, in that nightshade family, alongside potatoes, eggplants, tomatoes, those type of fruits, which is quite cool and interesting for a fruit that resembles more of a melon. So they can be grown as a little shrub like what I've got here, but you can also give them a bit of a trellis to climb up, and that will keep the fruits up off the ground, and they look quite cool like that. But what's really good about them is they often grow quite a lot of fruits on even a fairly small plant, which is awesome for those of you who grow in small spaces and want to grow some fruits in containers.
Wow.
And I've grown these in containers before and they go really well. So you just want a decent sized pot with some good free draining soil, and I usually mulch the top as well with a bit of wood chip or something like that. And as long as you keep them nicely watered and give them a bit of sun, and they don't mind a bit of shade as well, then they should provide you lots of delicious fruits through the summer and autumn. They do like a warm climate, so these can handle just a light frost and temperatures down to around 0. But if you don't want to grow them out in the open, if your area is too cold, again, a container is great because you can protect them through the winter.
Yep.
So yeah, once the flowers are pollinated, the fruits start to develop and they get larger and larger, and eventually they start to develop these purple stripes down the length of the fruit. And the green skin then starts to go a bit more of a golden colour, and that's usually when they're about ripe. But there are different varieties of pepino as well. Some even have a fully purple skin, which is pretty cool. But anyway, there's quite a lot of large fruits in here which are looking good, so we'll harvest some of those and go give them a taste. So it's got kind of a light yellowy or orangey kind of flesh, and it looks really juicy, really nice, and there's only just a few seeds in the middle, so not many at all. Just cut those out, or you can actually just eat those too if you want. The skin is smooth and almost paper thin, and it kind of has like a waxy texture, and it does just peel right off if you want to just peel it, easy as. And then you got the piece of juicy melon. It's really good. Yeah, just really juicy and kind of like a rock melon or a cantaloupe melon in texture, and slightly like that in taste as well. Some of the ones I've had have slight more cucumber taste in there as well, so yeah, cucumber and rock melon sort of mixed together, but this is super juicy and yeah, just a nice refreshing summer fruit. You can grow these plants from seed, but one of the easiest ways is to just propagate them from cuttings. All you do is just take a few cuttings off the plant and remove some of the lower leaves, just leaving a few at the top. Then place some of the cuttings in a pot with some potting mix, give them some water and keep them in a slightly shaded area to take root. After around a month, you can then separate the plants and pop them into your garden or a container to keep growing bigger. If you want, you can also put the cuttings in a glass of water, and after a few weeks they'll develop roots and then you can plant them out.
Chilean guava.
So this beautiful little evergreen shrub that is covered in all of these
Oh, that's what I have.
is called a Chilean guava. It goes by a bunch of other names as
Strawberry.
well. But they're native to Chile and Argentina, so in South America. And we'll talk a little bit
No,
more about
mine's
the fruits in
different.
a second. But if you look close at the leaves, they've got these really thick, dark green, leathery type leaves, which can handle a bit of frost, which is really great. I have read they can handle about -6 degrees Celsius, and then other sources have said -10 degrees. So yeah, they do have a bit of frost tolerance. I have no trouble growing them here in our winters, but we only get to about -2 degrees Celsius. They're also a really good one for growing in containers because the bushes don't get very big, usually only
Nice.
around a meter or so, but you can kind of train them and prune them to whatever size you want. Back in the spring and summer is when these first flower, and they create these beautiful pink bell-shaped flowers which are quite
Finished?
fragrant, and they're self-fertile as well, and they can fertilize themselves even without the need for insects and other pollinators, which is really great. And it means that you only need one of these plants too. You don't have to have a bunch of
Insufficient
them,
resources.
but you could as well because they are quite small and compact. And some people will even grow
Five
these
battles in
as like a
fantasy
boxed hedge
battlefield.
type thing, and you know, they can prune them into more of a
Which
formal
one's
garden
fantasy
landscape.
battlefield?
So it's autumn now, and throughout the life of these little fruits, even when they're small and unripe, they still are this bright red color. But what you'll find is when they are ripe, they actually go
Wow,
more
I
of a
didn't have a
lighter
blessing
color as
attached.
opposed to going a more darker red, like many other berries would as they ripen. So it's quite interesting. It's almost a little bit backwards. Some of the ripe ones even go as light as this one here, which is very kind of greenish, whitish, and pinkish all at the same time. It's good to make sure when you're harvesting these to look underneath the plant because they will just fall off when they are fully ripe. See, if I just give that a shake, there's a few just falling down to the ground. So you don't want to miss out on those ones. You just want to pull the stem off and then it's good to eat. A really, really good flavor. Kind of strawberry mixed with guava, but the strawberry being more like an artificial type flavor. Really, really sweet candy flavor, but also a little bit of a herby kind of taste as well in the
Red fried
background.
battles.
Really nice tasting fruit, really unique.
Where's
The inside of the
fantasy
fruit is a
battlefield?
white color with these tiny little seeds. They're not very noticeable at all, but the flesh is soft and quite silky, and the texture is a little bit like a blueberry. Those are so good. Once you have one plant, they're very easy to grow from cuttings as well, which is awesome. So all you want to do is just take a little branch and then strip off the lower leaves, maybe on about half of the cutting. Place a few of those into a pot with some potting mix and keep it slightly moist. Place that somewhere warm, but ideally not in the extreme full sun, just somewhere, you know, slightly shadier. And after maybe a month or a little bit longer, you can take those out and then plant them wherever you want, whether it's in more containers or into your garden, and grow a whole heap of these. I learned something really interesting about these plants the other day, and that's that you can also utilize the leaves, which is really good to know. This is something that was done traditionally by indigenous people in South America, where they would take the leaves and make a Chilean guava leaf tea. So you could either dry the leaves or use them fresh by chopping them up nice and finely and making a tea. And the tea was thought to treat different ailments. But also, there's been some studies done on these which has shown that they've got really high antioxidant properties. And by taking it as a tea, it's been shown to increase the antioxidant level in people's plasma, which can be very beneficial for your health. It's kind of nice. It's slightly sweet and has, I guess, just like a leafy sort of taste as you'd expect. So a great thing to know, and just another benefit of these plants, especially if you're pruning your plant and you've got all these clippings, why not save some and make some tea from them? So I've saved the best for last. This is a very special type of strawberry plant, but as probably a lot of you guys know, strawberries are a great option if you want to grow some fruit in containers, no matter the type. But this is a really cool one that I wanted to show you. It's called a white alpine strawberry. It's one of my favorite garden snacks that I've got out here in the garden. It is so delicious. But basically these plants are quite cool because they've got a long-lasting season, usually longer than just other strawberries. They go right from spring through the summer into the autumn, sometimes even a bit in the winter if you have a mild winter. So that's really good. They can handle cooler temperatures fairly well. And the fruit are really interesting because they're a white kind of creamy color when they're fully ripe, which is actually really good because it means you don't have to cover your plants in netting to stop the birds getting the fruit, because the birds just don't really recognize them as being a ripe fruit. The fruits are much smaller than most other strawberries, but the flavor really packs a massive punch. I usually like to get multiple strawberries all in my hand at once and then just have a whole mouthful because it's just a flavor explosion. These have just such an incredible flavor.
So good.
The flavor is a bit like other strawberries, but much sweeter, much punchier. They have kind of a slight pineapple taste in there as well, and floral notes too. But yeah, just really complex flavors. Sometimes I even feel like they taste kind of like those grape flavored lollies, if you've tried those before. So yeah, just really nice, really different. There's a couple of easy ways to propagate these plants as well. So one way is by seeds, and it's typically not the way that I go about it, but it is kind of cool because I've done it from seed before.
Is this the one I have?
Hello, this is Peter with another video. Today I'm going to do a quick tasting comparison. Larger ones, some of them were still very firm, these were...
No, it's different. Lemon and strawberry guava.
These are all different fruiting species from around the world.
That's the one I have.
And this is one that I really like. This is, it's called Pisidium, which is the genus of guavas, Cattlemanensis variety litorale.
Okay.
If it's completely yellow, it'll taste a little better, but this is still going to be really good. I think this is...
Seems almost there.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Good size.
So this is the same genus as the common guava that we would get.
Same genus, yeah.
But a different species.
Yep.
Okay.
I think these are way better.
I really like those.
Seeds are hard, but you know.
Yeah, the seeds are a little hard to get around, but the flavor is really nice. It does have a lemony taste to it. So lemon guava is a perfectly accurate name for this. Because like guavas, I think like if a lot of people have the impression that they don't like guavas because they get like one of those big green guavas that is nothing but seeds and no flavor. This, I guess, like tastes like a little bit like that, but if you added a lot more flavor to it and some lemoniness to it. And also the texture inside is like nice and it's nice and soft. It's actually like you can pop it right out. Like that's nice. It's not like a super crunchy guava.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like a nice texture to it. Yeah, that's really good. Alright, what we have here is a strawberry guava.
Tough flesh.
Fruits there. They are very small. They're very red. Do they get bigger than that, or is that
a little bigger? Not much.
They're small, Bob.
It's closely related to the other one you tried, but this will taste very different.
This guy off. It came off with like a little bit of effort. Is it? That's normal.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. It's got like a nice tartness to it. It tastes like the like a regular guava, but it's got a lot more flavor to it. So it's called strawberry guava. Is it supposed to have like a strawberry taste to it?
Supposedly.
Yeah, it's got like maybe like if I think about it, I think I can be like convince myself like, oh yeah, there's strawberry flavor notes in there. But I think I probably wouldn't have said that unless it was unless I heard that name. But yeah, maybe not Doesn't really remind me so super much of strawberries, but maybe like that same kind of tartness that you would get from the strawberry. Okay. Sour strawberry. That is, that's nice though. It doesn't have nearly as many seeds in it.
Let's see. I really like it. I like the texture. The texture's really different.
Yeah, it's soft.
Kind of like a banana almost.
You know what? It's got a little bit of banana flavor to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I like that a lot.
It kind of has like a hint of like the starchiness that you would get from a banana.
Yeah.
It tastes like kind of like strawberries and bananas mixed together. Like a little, it tastes like a smoothie. Yeah. You made like a smoothie out of like strawberries, bananas, and guavas, and blended it. It tastes kind of like that. It's got like a lot of sweetness to it, a little bit of a sourness to it, but a lot of guava taste. So that's really good. That's really tasty. Okay, I only have 1 minute, so we have to make this fast. Guys, click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Click the subscribe button. These are the videos to my next week's episode.
Did she do that?
So this gorgeous, big, plump, purple, pink fruit. You might hear the word guava and think, oh my gosh, I can't grow them here, especially not where we are in Melbourne, which is a temperate to cool temperate climate. But you'd be surprised. Strawberry guava are the toughest guava that you can grow. They're not like the Hawaiian guavas or the other more fussy guavas. So there are many, many types of guavas.
Yeah.
These are a really, really tough plant. I would say they're one of the toughest fruits that we grow in our garden and thrive even with absolute neglect. They're native to Mexico and South America, and they've got beautiful glossy green foliage, so I think they're such a pretty ornamental plant. And you can see it's got a lovely shiny stems and bark as well. Can be grown both as a hedge, so you can see how dense and bushy it is. It would make a great hedge.
It needs a lot of sun.
It could be grown as a tree, so if you prune it into a tree shape. For us, let me show you where we've got ours planted in one of the toughest conditions in our garden. So you can see here, it's under our grapefruit tree, and our grapefruit tree is massive and established, and it's an evergreen. So that means it's kind of blocking out the light to our guava for 95% of the day. And it's growing under the canopy of this tree, so it means it's not getting much water either. And that's right, that's what I love most about it. It's so drought tolerant. We never water it, and it's competing directly with our big established grapefruit tree, and yet fends for itself and still produces loads of
How
berries.
many points did I get? 100?
And it is not fussy at all about soil types. So, you know, there's very few plants that are
Did that
this
count?
easygoing. You can plant it into hard clay, into salty
21.
soil, or into beach sand,
Oh,
which is
that's how it
what
works.
virtually
5
what
at a
we're
time.
gardening on here. And it is happy. And it doesn't really need much care at all. I mean, look
Okay,
at all this
so
fruit
a
that's
couple hundred.
developing on its own over here, and you can see
1, 2,
when
3,
it's
4.
ripe, it's green and rock hard, and when it starts to ripen, it turns pink and then goes to deep purple and has a bit of give when it's ready. It really is one of the toughest
kick it up.
fruits that you can grow. It's great for a food forest and for filling those really tough, shady understory spots,
It
which
drinks
are
a lot
both
of
dry because they're shaded out by other trees and they're not getting water, and they're not getting much sun either. So the spot that we've got here, it's pretty much full shade. It doesn't really get much direct sun at all, and yet you can see it still fruits really well. And part of the reason why I planted it here is not many other things are going to do well here. And also I know this is really prolific. If anything, I want to actually dwarf it a bit with by planting it under the canopy of another tree, because otherwise it can get quite big itself. So you can keep it pruned to a hedge, or if you let it grow to a tree, it can get between 4 to 5 meters tall. So that's quite a tall tree. By planting it near another tree, and we've also got a lemon guava over there, which is brand new. It was just a twig when we bought that, and it's got some fruit on it now too. But I'm kind of planting things densely, and by planting things densely, you naturally dwarf them, which is actually what I want, because it is so productive that even in these conditions, in its first year, we're going to have lots of fruit, and we'll do some picking and taste testings in a sec. But we actually don't need that much fruit. So once it establishes, we're going to have more fruit than what we can eat off this. And isn't that amazing that it is thriving in such tough conditions? Now don't forget, this is a evergreen itself as well. So be careful where you plant it. You don't want to plant it, at least where we are in the southern hemisphere, on your north border, because it can get tall and you don't want it to shade out light in your entire garden. So plant it wisely, preferably on your southern borders, because it is an evergreen tree. For us, it fruits twice a year. It's one of those cool plants where if you prune it at the right time, you will get a second flush of fruit. So we actually got a first flush of fruit in late spring, so flowers in early spring and fruits in late spring, early summer. And now we're mid-autumn and we've got another batch of fruit ready to go. And you can see they're at different stages on the plant, so we've had flowerings throughout the whole warm month. You can see here that this is one that's just starting to produce fruit, and then they're green and hard and ripe ones, all on the same plant at the same time. It can fruit quite continuously in warm weather. And you can see the new shoots. Really
kind of want
quite
some
cute.
chicken now.
They've got a red auburn kind of colour on them, and that might be tiny flower buds there. I didn't even notice that. It's possible that it could be putting on another flush of flowers, and the flowers are yellow and fuzzy. They almost look like an Australian bush flower, gum flower, and they're quite pretty. They are virtually pest and disease free. I've not seen anything that attacks this. It is so tough. Now to the most exciting bit, the tasting. Firstly, I will mention that it's not often used and people don't know about this, but the leaves are also edible. They're best used as a tea and you can steep it in water. They taste quite lemony, bit like eucalyptus, kind of like how it looks. It almost looks like an Australian bush plant, even though it's native to South America.
For real, for real.
So they make a nice tea for starters. But of course what we're here for is this delicious fruit. And it's not called strawberry guava for no reason. It actually tastes like strawberry amazingly, and the colour also looks like strawberry. I'm going to do a quick picking of these, and then we're going to cut it open, see what it looks like on the inside, and we're going to do a taste test. The best time to pick them is when they turn a deep purple. They will naturally drop off the plant. So I found these under the plant, and that's how I knew, wow, they're starting to ripen now. You don't want to eat them until they're dark purple. A lot of people will try them at this pink stage and go, ugh, I don't like the taste, it's too sour, and it's not rich enough. This is the stage you want to eat it. The darker the colour and the longer they ripen, the more the sugars build up in the fruit and the sweeter they get. So don't try them at this stage, try them at this deep purple. You might wait till they drop off the bush if you're unsure, but they'll be soft and have a beautiful fragrant aroma. You can pick them at this stage, particularly if you've got lots of pests trying to go after your fruit. They will ripen off the vine and on the bench. You can pick them at the light pink stage, just leave them somewhere inside to ripen, or you can leave them in the fridge. Because they're so rich and so high in sugar, they don't last that long off the tree. Now let's get picking. one's a bit green, I'll leave that. Any more ripe ones for now. We'll leave the green ones to ripen for a bit longer, and this one's a bit pink green, so we won't pick that for now. Got a beautiful bowl of strawberry guavas. This is our second harvest of the season, with the first being in spring and early summer, and there's more on the tree that we're going to have later. But look at them, they're so big. And they just look delicious. The color is very appetizing. If I smell it, it's got a really fruity aroma when it's close to being ripe. So if I smell one of these underripe ones, it's just lightly strawberry scented, but super soft purple one, which is one of the ones we're going to taste very soon. Beautiful, beautiful aroma coming from it, and that tells you that it's ripe. Usually we don't get many of these because the kids come around and pick them all off, so we're doing this before they notice this time. Now let's cut one open and let me show you the inside. In our makeshift outdoor kitchen. Now where was that really ripe one? Is this it? Yep. Okay. They look like little love hearts. Very juicy. You can see that juice already leaking out, and they have that characteristic guava look inside. In our previous years, they didn't have any seeds, but I'm noticing that this year they do, whether because the fruit's bigger or maybe it's cross-pollinating with our lemon guava, which is right next to it, and we didn't have that in previous years. But the seeds I find are really teensy tiny. You can see them here. Most people just swallow them whole. They're almost not noticeable. Get one out. It's sitting in this pulp. Here's a little bit of a seed. That one's not fully formed. And yeah, this one's not that seedy. Let's try one though. It's got this beautiful pink colouring and the white creamy flesh in the centre. Here's one pip. A bit yellow and hard actually, that pip is. You can swallow them whole or you can spit them out. There's not many in it. There's a few small ones dotted throughout. It's really creamy. It's quite sweet. At this stage I would say it's much more sweet than tart. It has a slightly strawberry fragrance and it's quite fruity. It's a little bit like if you've had feijoa or pineapple guava. It's somewhat similar to that in texture and has some of those same elements, but it's, yeah, how would I describe it? It's a bit more strawberry, like you really got to try and taste one yourself. They're really yum though. Great in lunch boxes. A little bit pineapple-y as well. You can of course eat them just like this, which we will be doing straight after this, gorging them straight off the bush. You put them in kids' lunch boxes, they're such a great size, and you can add them to fruit salads, smoothies and juices. Just adds that beautiful sweet tropical taste. They really are a flavour sensation. I would highly recommend them. Can't buy them in the shops anywhere and they're delicious. People also make them into jams. We of course haven't had enough to do that. We've just been enjoying them fresh, but one day when we do, we might do that. I would highly recommend this for your food forest. It's tough, it's easy to grow, and most importantly, it's delicious. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. That means the world to us and helps us to grow and make more content. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time.
When I think about all the different plants and trees that I've grown over the years, there's a few memories that really stick out as some of the coolest and most memorable moments. One of those was harvesting my very first pomegranate from a tree that I grew from a little seed, and that seed came from a fruit that I bought at the store. There's something so rewarding about starting new life from a little seed that would have otherwise just been thrown away without even giving it a second thought. And you don't have to look very far in your day-to-day life to find opportunities to grow some really amazing things. Sometimes you just have to look a little bit closer. So today we're going to go over 7 different plants that you can grow from a seed, from fruits that you buy at the store, and I'm going to show you the whole process of how to do it. So let's just get started with pomegranate. So I like to open a pomegranate up by lightly cutting down the ridges of the fruit all the way around and then cutting off the top and bottom. And that way you can just pull the fruit apart, which keeps all the little beads or the arrows intact, instead of cutting through them with a knife and having juice go everywhere. So next, just go through and remove the flesh off a few seeds. I just gently chew it off and try and clean it off as best as I can. For starting the seeds, one way is just to put them.
So this gorgeous, big, plump, purple, pink fruit. You might hear the word guava and think, oh my gosh.
Whoa. Can't show that. Callie. Beautifully watched. Let's see, does that do anything? 13 days ago? No way.
Today we're going to talk about growing guavas in containers. Fun fact, I actually pulled this tree out of this one. It was a sucker growing out of the dirt, and I just ripped it up and put it in a pot. And that's the same story of this other tree we're going to talk about. It's a much bigger one, and I basically just dug that one out and put it in a pot, and after a year it's fruiting. Guavas are easy to grow in containers, and they're quite productive as well. So if you like them, it's a good idea to start growing one. What's this? Looks like 2 fruits fused together. Or maybe like a big nut. Some kind of sack. So the first thing you want to consider when growing potted plants, also pot, is your soil or your growing medium. So I always talk about growing it in a mineral-based soil, but these actually tolerate organic soils really well. I've grown in compost before I knew how bad they were, and they actually don't die. They don't grow as well, you know, if you're using something that's mineral-based, but they'll still be able to grow. So even though they do okay in organic soils, I still wouldn't recommend it. It's always best to use mineral soils for everything. I've grown this in here for
citrus.
夏の装いでもアルザス勝利をもたらさん
4 days ago.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Plant Fanatics. Today we're going to be talking about the flowering of your citrus tree after defoliation, so stay tuned. So the weather this year has been insane. Citrus trees are defoliating like no other all over the northern planting zones. People are freaking out about it. I want to talk to you guys about after your citrus tree has defoliated, will it still flower and fruit? And the answer to that question is yes. As long as your fruit tree has flowered in the past, if it's of a mature age, if it's a grafted tree, it will still flower even though it dropped all of its leaves. Here next to me, I want you to come in close here. I've got this ponderosa lemon tree. As you can see, there are new leaves coming out, but before those leaves were coming out, we got flower buds all over this thing. Look, we got 4 flowers right here. We have another flower right here. We have a bunch more flowers right here. And I can tell you guys for certain that on this lemon tree, flowers are gonna continue to come out and bloom. Now with lemon trees, a lot of times they tend to bloom all year long, continuous blooming, continuous fruiting. Whereas something like an orange tree can produce, you know, it usually flowers once a year and produces fruit once a year, especially in the northern planting zones. But if you can see over here, this navel orange tree right here lost all of its leaves except for a few of these bigger ones over here. And look, we have still got a flower bud right there. There's going to be more to come as the growth continues. These citrus trees are so hardy. I say this in all my videos about citrus trees. They can take a lot of beatings and continue to move forward. The roots are very important. Take care of those roots. But as far as things that happen on the top of the tree, they seem to bounce back very quickly, still flower, still give you fruit, no matter what happens to them. As long as it's alive, as long as those limbs are alive, you're gonna be fine. So when you start seeing that leaf growth, you'll start seeing those flowers, you're gonna be like, wow, I was so freaked out about it. And a lot of times it just has to do with not really owning citrus trees before or never going through something like that before. But after it happens and you see that it still fruits, you know, you'll see it's not as big of a deal as you thought it was. But I just wanted to throw this video out there really quick just to help people out if they were freaking out about it. You know, not a lot of people are talking about this type of situation, but here in the north, those citrus leaves fall off quite a bit. Not every year, but a lot of years they do. They always bounce back. You're gonna be okay. You're still gonna get fruit. And if you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share with anybody who might be dealing with the same issues of defoliation and they're worried about their citrus trees. Thanks for watching the video, guys.
Ever since I first started gardening, I wanted to grow citrus, and now, almost 12 years later, I have 15 different varieties, all producing like crazy. So in this video, we are gonna give you a complete beginner's guide to citrus, no matter where you live, from start to finish. In the world of citrus, there are so many different varieties and crosses, it's actually overwhelming, much too much for a beginner's guide. But to keep it simple, you've got your oranges, like this Valencia orange right here. You have lemons, you have limes, you have grapefruits, and then you have what I'll call specialty. And that's basically anything that isn't one of those. If you want lemons, I have 2 picks for you. You'll love both. The first is the Meyer lemon, one of the most beloved around the world for its little bit less tart, little less sour flavor, great for desserts. And if you want a more classic lemon, I would go with a Eureka. For oranges, there are really 1,000,001 varieties, but 2 I really prefer. If you like to juice them, I'd go with a Valencia. It's a classic juicing orange. If you want to eat them straight up out of the garden, the Caracara orange is far and away my favorite. It's sort of a cross between a blood orange and an orange. It's not even really understood exactly how this beautiful orange came to be, but the flavor cannot be beat. For limes, there's one choice that I would recommend, and that would be this one right here. This is the Bear's Lime, 2 S's at the end of that name, named after someone who grew a very prolific lime. This produces so much. I can't even describe it. There's some on the ground right now. I feel a little bad, but we're using them as fast as we can. You can also go with a key lime if you want, but this is one of the most productive I've ever grown. If you are watching this video and you don't like me because I'm talking about citrus and you live in a cold climate, grow this because it's one of the best citrus I've ever eaten. I was just eating one. It is the Owari Satsuma mandarin, or really any mandarin. It's exceptionally cold hardy. It can grow down to, I think, about 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and it peels like a dream. It's probably one of the easiest peeling fruits you'll ever have, and the taste is insane. Holy shit, that's really good actually. When it comes to grapefruits, this is my little grapefruit tree. Used to have a bigger one in this area. This one's called Oro Blanco. There's one called Mellow Gold you can grow, but they're just big ass citrus, and they're super tasty if you like a little bit of a sourness to it. I mean, as a kid, I used to cut these in half, have a little spoon, kind of fish out the pulp, and then have a little sugar with it. It was a really, really great ritual. I'm hoping to get this tree a lot larger so I can do that in the future. And then you just have some of the more wild picks, the specialty citrus, as I'll call them. I've got about 2 or 3 in my garden. This one right here is calamansi. If you're Filipino, you know calamansi. You can use it as a juice. It's exceptionally prolific, and you actually tend to eat the entire thing, rind and all. I don't have one that's quite ripe yet. Then you've got stuff like kumquats, which are absolutely delicious, and then the Japanese yuzu, which is some sort of lemon variant, but is often used for its rind. So you have your citrus varieties that you've picked out. Where are you supposed to put them? No matter what climate you're in, you pretty much want to give them the most sun exposure that you can. So this is north, and I've got a lot of nice southern exposure here. That one yuzu over there doesn't get as much as I might like, but we all make mistakes in the garden. Point being, warm exposure. You don't want to put this in an area that gets shaded out a lot of the day. You don't want to put it down in a bit of a trenched area. If anything, and we'll show you how to plant this in just a second, you're going to want to put it a little bit higher than normal, because citrus loves water, but it doesn't like what's called wet feet. It doesn't want its roots constantly sitting in soaking wet water. So citrus wants a lot of sun. It's going to put out a ton of growth. It wants to kind of produce as a shrub. So it wants a lot of sun, but it doesn't want that sun to kind of penetrate and pierce through the canopy. And we'll get into how to prune it so that you can achieve that, but we need to figure out how we're actually supposed to plant citrus, whether it's in ground or in a container. Let's talk planting citrus in ground first. It seems scary, but it's actually not that bad. I planted all these about 3 years ago. They're all doing really well. So what we did is not overcomplicate things. We dug a relatively large hole. We popped it out of the container that it came in. We did not do anything to improve the soil. This is important. We didn't throw a ton of compost and fertilizer down in the hole. All we really did was plant it on a bit of a mound. Remember, it does not want to be wet all the time. So sometimes you actually have to plant it up a little bit on a mound so that the drainage falls off of that planting area so it doesn't stay super, super wet. The only other thing when you're planting in ground that I think is very important, in fact, it's important whether you're planting it in ground or containers, all citrus is grafted. What that means is there's a little point down here. In this particular example, it's right around here, where below this point you have what's called a rootstock citrus. That is just the roots. And then in this case, with this beautiful Caracar orange, someone went through and grafted the Caracar right here, and it's now growing up here. So what you don't want to do is bury the plant below the graft point, and it's very apparent. That's probably the #1 rule. And after that, you throw some mulch and some compost on, and you're in a really good spot. So now let's talk about how to do it in a container. To grow citrus successfully in containers, you don't need to do too much special, and it's really a great container plant because if you're in a cold climate, you can move that indoors, outdoors, protect it from those freezing temperatures. So I have a 15-gallon pot here. This is a Valencia orange. This is actually gonna be for Jacques on our team. He's been wanting a Valencia orange for a long time. So I'm gonna pot it up for him. So what I have here is a relatively old tree. I mean, with citrus and with all fruit trees, the one thing I'd say is you really do get what you pay for. If I'm paying $50 more for this tree, I'm buying myself years worth of growth. And to me, that is well worth it, but buy what you can afford. So I could certainly just keep this in its plastic pot right here, but whew, that's heavy. If I want to pick it up and put it into something just a little bit bigger, this is what I would do. So I'm gonna put this to the side. So I wouldn't pot it up too much. That's maybe 20-inch pot. This is probably a 22, 24-inch pot. But what I would do is use a citrus mix. This is pretty important in a container. I would spring for the money to get a citrus mix. Will make the plant do quite a bit better. So you're gonna put a little bit in the bottom. It's just a little bit more of an airy mix. Helps for drainage.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Plant Fanatics. Today we're going to be talking
Huh. Yes.
Some plants drop leaves as a normal part of their life cycle. Some shed them in winter so they have less foliage to maintain during the lower light levels, but others don't shed at all. So read up and find out what's normal for your plant. If your plant is dropping more leaves than it should, there could be a few reasons behind it. It could be the shock of it being delivered to your cozy home or moved to a new spot. A dip in brightness levels can also cause a plant to lose leaves because it needs to be more efficient. If a plant is outgrowing its pot, it might drop leaves because it can't maintain all the new ones it's trying to grow. So if you see the roots bubbling up into the surface of the soil or coming out of the bottom of its plastic pot, it might be time to repot it. Both underwatering and overwatering can cause leaves to fall off too, because too much or too little moisture affects the structure of a plant. If the leaves are yellowing and mushy, especially if it starts at the bottom of the plant, then you're definitely overwatering. And if they're dry and curling, then it hasn't had enough water. And congratulations, you've reached the end of the first level of the Patch Houseplant Parenting course. If you want to continue learning and improve your plant knowledge, click below for level 2.
Wow. Then I do want to see this.
What's growing on, gardeners? Do you want to plant some fruit trees in your yard but you think it's just too small? Well, this video is for you. I'm going to share with you my 6 smallest fruit trees that make big fruit in the tiniest yards. No matter what size your yard is, you can fit these fruit trees and be overflowing with harvests most of the year. And on this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to make that happen.
If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and check out my Amazon store and Spreadshop links in the video description for everything I use in my garden and awesome custom apparel and gear.
I just counted and I'm growing at least 54 fruit trees in my backyard alone.
Nice.
That doesn't include my front yard, what I have planted around my house, and my container garden. When you add all of those things together, I'm growing over 200 fruit trees on this little suburban plot in an HOA. And the amazing thing is, the 54 fruit trees in my backyard are growing on only 0.04 acres of land. Yes, that's 0.04, because I've grown them very strategically. I've planted the overwhelming majority of these around my fence line, so I have a little bit more of 400 feet of perimeter fencing, and all of the beds come out about 4 feet. So when you do the math, I have a little bit over 1,700 square feet of bed space dedicated to these fruit trees, or about 0.04 acres total. So if I can grow 54 different fruit trees in 1,700 square feet of space, I know that you can figure out how to plant 6 in your yard, no matter how small it is. The key is proper site selection, annual pruning to keep them small, and the selection of very dwarfing trees grafted onto dwarfing rootstock. And on this video, I'm going to show you 6 of my favorites. You won't believe how small these trees are. Fruit tree number 1 is my Ichikikejiro Asian persimmon tree. This tree has virtually everything you want in a backyard fruit tree. It is extremely cold hardy and can be grown all the way down to zone 6. It is self-fulfillment. That's how heavily dwarfing this tree is. Now there are a number of if you perform a simple search, you'll find this pretty common all over the place. Fruit tree number 2 is the Bonanza Peach, and believe it or not, this tree is going on its 3rd year, and I have to squat down to film it. That's how heavily dwarfing this tree is. Now, there are a number of super dwarfing peach trees out there, but a lot of them put out smaller fruit. The amazing thing about the Bonanza Peach is it makes full-size fruit, and they are also freestone. So if you buy a Bonanza peach tree, you will get top quality freestone fruit. Now this is a cold hardy tree that's cold hardy to zone 6, and it is also self-fertile. So you only need one tree. And what's amazing about this tree is if you don't prune it, it's going to top out at only about 5 to 6 feet. When you keep it pruned, you can keep it even smaller than that. So this makes it one of the most productive small fruit trees you can possibly grow, and it also makes a brilliant contender for container gardening. Like most fruit trees, peaches are easier to grow up north than in the south because there's less insect and disease pressure. So if you live in an area that has more insect and disease pressure for your peaches, having a smaller tree like this makes your life so much easier because it's tough dealing with a 12 to 20 foot tall peach tree if you have to spray the tree. But when you can keep something perpetually small at 5 or 6 feet, it makes caring for the tree and looking it over and checking for any kind of insect, pest infestations or things like that super easy. So for that reason, this is going to be one of the lower maintenance peach trees that you'll ever buy. Now, if you're interested in where to get one, this one's a little bit more difficult to find. I got mine from Bob Wells Nursery online. I ordered it and they gave me a beautiful tree, and it's in its 3rd year now and it's doing really well. Fruit tree number 3 are fig trees, and when it comes to growing fig trees, in this case, the variety does not matter. You can grow any fig variety that you want and have it fit in a very small footprint. Now, it often comes as a surprise when I recommend fig trees for people with small growing spaces because they have a reputation to be invasive and get quite large, and that is true if you're growing them in their native Mediterranean climate and you never prune them. But here in the US and in colder climates, these trees often get killed all the way down to the ground every single year and then sprout back up from the roots. And that is what makes figs so amazing. You can hard prune them pretty much all the way down the ground and they will come back and grow 8 to 10 feet tall and produce a harvest for you the very next year. So for that reason, you never have to worry about your fig trees becoming large or invasive because you could hard prune them and keep them as small as you want every single year. So they will really take up very little space in practice, and they can be grown in ground at least all the way down to zone 6, even colder if you do things like cut them down to the ground and wrap the trunk and then bury them in mulch to insulate them for the next year. All of the fig trees that you see growing here are going on 8 years old, and you can see how significantly large the trunks are, but I just cut them down to the cordons every single year to keep them small and they sprout back up. I haven't pruned them for the winter yet, but when I do prune them down, they will be cut down to about that second cable level, which is only about 30 inches from the bottom of the ground, and then they will resprout and they will make their figs for the next season. Now, there are literally thousands of varieties of figs out there, so what you would pick depends on what kind of flavor of fig you want, because they come in practically every flavor under the sun, from honey figs to light berry to rich berry to molasses to caramel to peach flavor to blackberry, raspberry. The world is your oyster when it comes to growing figs. However, if you were to ask me if I could only grow one fig variety here in the south where we get torrential rain, I would probably go for the variety Smith, which is a strawberry flavored fig. It's quite cold hardy, it grows very quickly, and it tolerates rain and humidity better than most. So if you deal with rainy, wet, humid climates and you want a really good quality fig that's easy to find online and you can get the trees for a relatively low price, I would recommend the variety Smith. If you're looking to buy a fig tree, the biggest availability on the whole internet is going to be on an auction site called FigBid. You don't have to go through auction, you can just use the Buy It Now feature, but there are a lot of different websites out there that stock lots and lots of figs. One Green World is a good example. They have dozens and dozens of figs to choose from online. Virtually all the figs that we grow in the United States are parthenocarpic, which means they set fruit without pollination. You don't need to have that fig wasp that you may hear about to pollinate your fig trees. Every single one that I grow do not need pollination. They're not self-fertile, they are parthenocarpic, so they fruit without pollination. Almost all of the figs that you're going to buy online will have this unique genetic trait. Just don't buy any figs that are labeled Smyrna figs because they will actually need pollination. They are very rare and hard to come by. Fruit tree number 4 to grow in your backyard that'll fit in practically any space is citrus. And the key to having citrus trees that fit practically anywhere is to make sure you get them grafted onto trifoliate rootstock. One of the most common name varieties of trifoliate rootstock is flying dragon. So if you see on websites your citrus is grafted onto flying dragon, that is a bush-style semi-deciduous citrus that will keep your tree a permanently small shrub forever. For example, this Owari Satsuma, this is going on 8 years old, and this is as tall as it will ever get with annual pruning. I simply round it off in early winter every single year, and this allows me to keep it planted right up against the southern wall of my house, which is the warm wall, which blocks the north wind and radiates heat all throughout the night, and it gives it a very protected microclimate, so I can grow the citrus very close to my house and protect it for those cold nights. The best part about growing citrus is they ripen their fruit in the late fall and early winter when not much else is ripening. So by growing citrus, you can have fresh harvests of ripe fruit when almost nothing else is fruiting anywhere else. Look at this Meyer lemon tree right here. It is overwhelmed with absolutely enormous fruit. These Meyer lemons are the size of softballs, and they are everywhere on this tree. All the citrus trees in my backyard here are grafted onto that trifoliate rootstock, so this allows me to keep them permanently small. Many of these are going on 5 years old, and this is as big as they get. And this allows me to plant them up against these big 60-gallon pickle barrels, which absorb heat throughout the day and radiate the heat back at night. And then if I'm going...
Mm-hmm. Let's build. What are we at? Nubian. We got Nubian again. Wife.
サディア所属従順洋艦ボルツァーの着任しました。これより指揮官の指揮下に入ります。
Of course, of course.
指揮官、休みの日は強くしてくれ。
Did it. Still not enough XP. Wow, this is gonna take forever. Vanguard. Of course. Should I get Nubian skin? No, where is... Not blue chair, Z23. Ah. Janet. That one better? I don't think that one's better. Tai-ho. What's this? No, where do I search? Wait, her fantasy skin isn't here. Her fantasy skin is really cute. This one's really cute too. I really use Butcher.
装備箱でもいかが
I did it. Bonus. Okay, I guess I'm gonna end the stream and play Nikke after this. Okay, that's a loss. Of course. Crazy. That news. Try again.
本領発揮だ。音が動かない。こんなタイミングで。本領発揮だ。本領発揮だ。展開わかんないけどやってやるよ。やってくれる。一段星空を眺め気がする。正解を歩む。挨拶はもう終わりましたよ。展開。
Oh god, that's so fucking tough. see, which is yeah. And I say, hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel good. And I said, hey, yeah, 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 yeah.
要するに全部そうすればいいのね。ルーマーノイガチャ合唱せよ。ルーマーノイ合唱せよ。接続完了。展開よくわかんないけどやってやるよ。ルーマーノイ合唱せよ。展開
I did it! I'm the champion.
夏の装いでもあるさす。勝利をもたらさ。
Another one.
Better面白いわね。今やらなきゃ。ベルリー・ドゥ・ラ・デスピキア。接続完了。展開よくわかんないけどやってやるよ。ルーマーノイ裁きの合唱せよ。やらなきゃって気がする。正解を歩む。違った違った。
Whoa, another one for me.
Natsu no yosoi demo aru zasu. Shouri o motarasan.
Another one? Weak. Oh, I see their team.
Going to get a hard freeze, I just cover them with the agricultural fabric back there, and this allows me to grow citrus all the way in North Carolina. Citrus is way more cold hardy than given credit for. You don't need to live in a very mild winter climate to grow them. Most of these cold hardy varieties of citrus can be grown all the way down to the Zone 7B 8A line. I just made a video, 12 different varieties of ultra cold hardy citrus that you can grow. Most people in the United States can grow citrus in ground. In fact, some ultra cold hardy varieties like a Yutsu or a Prague Satsuma or an Ichang lemon or a Sudachi, they can be grown all the way down to the Zone 6B 7A line with a little bit of cold protection. So again, I'll link to a video down in the video description that will show you 12 of my favorite varieties of ultra cold hardy citrus, and also I'll link to a video both above and down in the video description that will show how I protect these citrus trees with water barrels and incandescent Christmas lights. It is really easy to give them about 10 to 12 degrees of cold protection, and that's really all you need to be able to grow cold hardy citrus in many areas of the United States that you think you can't. If you're looking for where to buy citrus trees, I buy all of my grafted citrus trees from Stan McKenzie at McKenzie Farms in Scranton, South Carolina. He's probably the biggest collector of cold hardy citrus in the entire United States, so you can simply look him up on Google Maps, you can give him a call, you can order anything you want over the phone from him, and he will ship it to your door. If you live in a citrus quarantine state, like say Florida, you can also buy your citrus from Just Fruits and Exotics or Bright Leaf. If you live in Texas, you can buy them from Bob Wells Nursery. If you
What?
live in Arizona, you can buy them from Seamus
Certified?
O'Leary Tropicals.
Or
So those states,
I'm a deal.
they don't allow citrus to be shipped in from outside of the state. So that will give you a good idea of where you can buy citrus from online if you live in a quarantine zone. And if you still don't believe me, I received a wonderful message from someone
Okay,
just
it's
a few
already
days
in
ago
state.
in Zone 7, New Jersey, telling me that he just picked 21 Brown Select Satsumas off his tree that he's growing in ground in Zone 7, New Jersey. Is that not incredible? All because he followed the methods in my video. You haven't lived until you have had citrus picked fresh off of your tree. I'm telling you, it's just the biggest flex, especially in areas that can't grow citrus in ground. Everybody's just amazed by it. Fruit tree number 5 is actually a fruiting shrub. It is called a feijoa, also known as a pineapple guava, and this is a member of the myrtle family. It is a fruiting myrtle shrub. It's not technically a tropical guava, it is subtropical, so it is cold hardy to Zone 7. This tree has flown through back-to-back nights at 8 degrees Fahrenheit with no issues at all. Nothing bothers this tree. I've never had issues with any insects, with any disease. The birds don't bother it, the squirrels don't bother it. Nothing bothers this tree at all. It is the lowest maintenance thing that I'm growing in my entire yard, and all I really need to do is just keep it shaped at the end of each year. I prune it in December after I harvest all the fruit off of it, and it just grows back bigger and better every single year. This is another tree that I got from Stan McKenzie 8 years ago, and it has been growing ever since I bought my house back in 2018, and it's really an easy tree to grow, really super low maintenance, and it's beautiful as well. In fact, I liked it so much I bought another one. This is a named variety called Takaka that I bought from the website One Green World. It's on its 3rd year and it's finally starting to put on some growth. It made its first handful of fruits this year, and they are huge. Pineapple guava have some of the most unique tasting fruit I have ever had. In fact, I call them nature's Sour Patch Kid. You know a pineapple guava is ripe because when they are ripe, they actually fall off the tree and you pick them up off the ground. They have a very tart skin and a very sweet interior. So if you eat them together, you get a sweet tart flavor explosion. If you don't like the tartness of the skin, you can just cut the fruits in half and you can scoop out the flesh, which is very sweet. It almost tastes like a cross between a pear and a pineapple. But the thing that really makes this tree a standout is the incredible, beautiful, perfumey, tropical flowers. They are this vibrant magenta color, they smell like perfume, and the flowers are actually technically edible. I've eaten them before, although they're so perfumey they're not for me, but if you really like the flowers, you can eat them. And fruit tree number 6 is a recent addition to my garden that I've only been growing in ground for about 2 years, and that is a pomegranate tree. Pomegranates are very dwarfing. They are shrub-like, and if you don't prune them, they will only grow to be about 8 to 10 feet tall, but through annual pruning, you can easily keep these as a 5 to 6 foot tall shrub. I went to Italy last year, and these pomegranates are all over the place there. They're very popular in Mediterranean climates because they do very well in places with long, dry summers. And you can keep them as a beautiful looking ornamental shrub. They are one of the prettiest trees I've ever seen when growing in that type of climate. Now, the cold hardiness of your pomegranate tree is somewhere in between. It depends on the varieties that you get, because some varieties, like the Wonderful pomegranate, which is one of the most popular commercial varieties, that's more frost sensitive and it's only cold tolerant to about the Zone 7-8 line. But this is a variety called Parfianca, which is a self-fertile variety that's more cold hardy to about the Zone 6-7 line, and it's also earlier. Now, I haven't gotten any fruit off this tree yet because it hasn't been in ground for a full 2 years yet, but I have been informed by people that they're a little bit harder to grow in places with wet, humid summers. And while they don't really have any issues with insect pests, if you have very wet, humid summers like I do here on the southeastern coast of North Carolina, I might have some issues with fungal diseases. So that is why I got an earlier variety. So if you're looking for something really small and really productive and fairly cold hardy, you can give yourself a try with a pomegranate variety. Just make sure the variety you get is self-fertile, The vast majority of them are, but not every single one is, so check beforehand. Now, my pomegranate is from an online nursery called Bay Laurel Nursery, and they gave me this beautiful tree, and so far it has been basically problem-free. I haven't even pruned it yet. I'm probably going to give it its first haircut this winter. It's coming along nicely. It did flower for me last year, but because it was only in ground for just a little bit more than a year when it flowered, it did not actually produce fruit, but it goes to show you how precocious they are. I think it's probably actually going to bear fruit for me in its full second year in ground this year. So if you have warm, dry summers, definitely plant a pomegranate. They should be very easy for you to grow. If you have more humid, wet summers, you can try planting an earlier variety like this and see if you can beat the humidity. Either way, I'm really excited to see how this turns out. The tree itself is incredibly easy to grow and low maintenance. And that right there are 6 tiny fruit trees that will give you big harvests in even the smallest of backyards. Don't let anyone tell you that you need a big backyard to grow lots of fruit. You don't. Remember, I'm growing 54 fruit trees on only 0.04 acres because I sourced dwarfing varieties and I pruned them annually to keep them small every year, which you should be doing anyway because annual pruning practices